Hello and welcome to
Hello.
the Lucky Hit podcast.
Lucky.
Yeah, with your hosts Murry Curry,
With your hosts, FlattheYounger.
And the Gagaman.
fucking hosts. So, been a couple of weeks since we've done episode 54. This is number 55.
Yes.
It usually comes up.
it's just looking at me for ages. Is it
55?
Aaron, the keeper of the knowledge.
Even I had to look it up.
I looked over at Aaron like he asked me for some water. So yeah, welcome.
Great start.
Say welcome again.
Welcome.
Say welcome.
I'm a little bit thrown out of whack because we stopped doing the music now. Not because we don't like doing the music, but just because it's quite a bit of hassle for many reasons that we won't go into.
Copyright.
There we go.
Well, there's that. And it's also the case that we always actually stop recording for like the gaps where the songs would go in. And quite often when we do that, we hit stop and then we don't start up again for like an hour.
It kind of like
Or
throws us off our
two.
stride.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, there was
So
that one time
from now on,
we stopped at 9 and came back at like 2 in the morning.
Oh,
or
that's because
something.
we had like a party going on at the same
Yeah.
time.
oh, that's true.
So it stopped, and then we were massively drunker.
Yeah, so we just suddenly came back with a song.
Yeah.
Drunk.
And then we discovered Micro Machines multiplayer.
Oh, it was that night, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
So
So
basically, from now on, we're just going to hit record, we're going to do the podcast, and then we're going to stop, and that's the whole podcast. So however long it ends up going on for is...
one fell swoop. So yeah, as I said, I'm a little bit thrown out of whack. So we're going to go straight in with our
Thrown
first
right out of wank.
first topic. What should our first topic be if it's not what have we been playing?
It should be about what happened a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah, it's only a
What
week.
happened? I'm making it sound really dark.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
It's only actually been a week, hasn't it? It was.
Was it a week?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I guess it was.
So yeah, Saturday the 22nd of August. We were talking about it on the podcast before. We've been talking about it on Facebook, Twitter, and all over the place, really.
Remember
trying
how
to-
nervous we were in the last podcast about it?
Yeah, we were like, well,
Well.
it probably won't work, but we'll try.
Yeah. So we're still sort of, even now, still coming down from that event. It went incredibly well.
It went spectacular. I couldn't believe how well it went.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't have gone better as far as I'm concerned.
It was so
Like-
strange because all the test runs and all the technical difficulties leading up to it, we were really
We were
starting to
absolutely bricking it.
We went into
we
it,
did.
yeah.
We actually went into Astro City the week before, didn't we, to do a test live stream
Yeah.
where we just and everything just went wrong, didn't
Yeah.
it? Like
It got to
we
the
tried
point
to do
had
speed
15
runs and we just kept game over in,
Yeah.
and the internet connection dropped.
Yeah,
we
wasn't
got
it?
a 15-minute delay on Twitch.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That's the other thing. That bloody speedruns came out.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
We were all on form.
On the actual night, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not only, the live stream just stayed up the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
I could
don't
not
think,
believe that.
I mean, obviously it varies depending on the connection. Some people probably did have a bit of skipping, and I think the delay was about 30 seconds, but that's just Twitch.
Yeah,
Anyway.
That's
Yeah.
much more manageable than 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
ridiculous, that test run. That was, I couldn't even believe that. We just had to restart at that point.
Yeah.
But the actual night, it just stayed solid the whole night. It did not drop at any point. We just had all 12 hours, well, it was probably over 12, just
Yeah.
over 12 hours that we
Yeah.
were streaming. And all that practicing I put into the layout, and like I was doing tests at home where I was
Yeah.
trying out different consoles and then trying out throwing up the videos of special effects and all that kind of stuff. And the whole night, just got it all down as far, I think it just went really smoothly.
It really did.
Like even the transition between like when we were setting up the games and I put up the slideshow of the prizes and all that kind of stuff. I think it just went down really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Like I say, it's still sort of coming down from it. I'm even still, we're in the process of like still getting out the prizes from the raffle and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was another area that was just incredible as well. Like the amount of stuff we got.
Yeah, so many
Yeah.
prizes to get.
We had some fantastic sponsors who gave us some great stuff. Every single aspect was amazing. It was just such an experience. So we just want to say thanks so much for everyone who watched, everyone who donated, even so much as just a few shares. I mean, that's not just a few shares to us.
Yeah.
yeah, just everything was incredible. So thanks
Well,
so much.
It absolutely smashed our expectations for
That, yeah,
especially from the donations. Yeah. Our initial target was just £100, wasn't it? And we broke past that before we even started.
Yeah, before the event.
We had like advanced like donations from like fans like Tammy and that, and they all sort of donated in early, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because you could. We didn't even realise you could. We just put up the page and was like, oh, well, you can donate when it starts, but they all just started donating straight away. I was like, oh wow, okay. And so yeah, we had like £150 on there already.
Yeah.
And then by the end of I think, what was the actual official total in the end?
Right, I've actually got it perfectly now.
Okay.
It's all been collected, and we raised £363 exactly, which is so cool.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe it.
We set
I couldn't believe it at the night.
Yeah.
Like when I was looking at it. I mean, we had like a rough figure at the night, but I think it was close to that.
Pretty much was.
It was about 350 something. So.
It ended up being like a couple of £1 out. Which was, and the reason for that was because we had a few people who stayed a bit longer and decided to just give us a few £pounds at the end, so we just put that straight in the thing.
That was the other thing that went really well. I think we had a really good turnout at the actual city as well. Yeah. A lot of people came down. We even had a couple guys that donated some more prizes, didn't we, as well? So there was some stuff that we didn't even like advertise on the slideshow because they were just like added.
That's right.
At the last minute, and you know.
We had a couple of people that
not only did they come in and obviously pay the £10 to stay in, or the £8 for up to 12 and that. That's they also donated more money as well after that, didn't they?
Yeah, and we had like some extra raffle,
absolutely brilliant
stuff as well. Turnover of raffle tickets while we were there, which I wasn't expecting because the raffle tickets were mainly for the online donations, but we also
initially,
and people could buy more basically. So getting into all that, but
we had like a limit on it, didn't we? But,
because
obviously you don't.
We wanted a sort of reasonable amount of ticket to entry ratio. We didn't want people to just keep donating £1 and getting a ticket. Especially since some of the prizes were quite sort of up there, weren't they, in value? So.
Especially the stuff that was donated by Special Effect themselves, and headphones, as well as insert coins stuff as well, like the hoodies and that.
Big shout out to those guys, So, I mean, it's just incredible, just trying to sort of... I can't explain it, it's just like, it's all in little bits. Like, on the night, for instance, I was looking at the total, and I was saying at the time, wasn't I, on the actual stream, I was saying, like, it's going to hit me when I get home. Because, I mean, I was happy, obviously, but when I got home, I finally sat back and went, £360. Yeah, because like I say, we set the 100. I said this in the last podcast. We set the goal of £100 just as a sort of test the waters. I was saying before, when if we get enough interest to hit at least 100, then we know that we can do this again in the future. So the fact that we meet our expectations threefold, very nearly 4
almost
times over. We are definitely doing another one of these events.
Absolutely.
We're hoping to do one early next year while it's still kind of winter.
Obviously we haven't got any of it set in stone yet,
but
we do definitely want to do
yet.
A second one. But we're still just about recovering from this one, I think. Well, like the last week or so.
That's right. So
I think the last few days, like the few days after it, like I had these really weird like leg cramps from like I was like squatting the whole night because I was doing all the the wires and like swapping all the wires around for each console and all that kind of stuff. So I just had this really weird cramp. I was like limping everywhere for a couple of days. It was weird, but I'm not complaining. It was all worth it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like we could just go into some of the highlights from it, like as well the gameplay. And I think for me, like top 3 for me, or top 4 I suppose, would be I think Saturn Bomberman,
that went down a treat.
Guardian Heroes and Abut's Kid for me. They were.
We'll start with the Saturn Bomberman. It's kind of a dream, isn't it, that we want to get 10 players all together.
Yeah.
And we got so close.
We got so close. We were just 2 controllers. Players. We just had 2 controllers short. But
that's the problem. If we just had 2 more controllers, we would have reached that.
We could have done it. Yeah.
I just wanted to win one round.
To be honest, like Saturn Bomberman, it is actually a game I've been playing since I was quite young because like I got the game it must have been like 98. So I've had it since about then. And like almost the whole time, I think the most I ever played on it was 2 players. I don't think I ever really played multiplayer. The only times I've played multiplayer with that game, like more players, was at Eurogamer in the retro section. They had the big setup, didn't they? That's where they had the Bomberman multi-tap, and I was like, oh, I want it. And all that kind of stuff. You look in the old Eurogamer, you see me stroking it. Like,
That's right. Yeah.
I want to steal and all that. But yeah, I just made it a mission in the last couple of years since then.
To steal it, which you did.
Well, yeah, steal it off eBay somewhere.
It's murder to get that property of EGX sticker off.
So yeah, I got. So yeah, I finally managed to get 2 multi-taps to do it, because you actually need 2 multi-taps to do it. You need one in
So
each
you have
port.
multi-taps.
Yeah, I have multi-taps. And what's amazing about the Saturn ones is most multi-taps only have 4 in them, don't they? But these ones have 6 in each. It's ridiculous how many they stuck in them. So technically they could have made it 12-player if they wanted, but they didn't. But yeah, so...
That would be too much bombing.
I think next time, there's definitely a couple of games that we did that night that are going to become like tradition, I reckon. They're going to be like every time we do it.
I've got to say, a surprising highlight for me was... I knew I was going to enjoy Smash Bros, but I didn't think...
Oh, that was intense, some of that.
I was thinking I was either going to sort of do, really well, or be completely embarrassed. But I did not expect to have near the knuckle, like...
That was an incredible...
Real, like,
that's the problem.
Probably the best fight I've ever had on that game. Like,
oh, nice.
It was
amazing. Do you remember the guy's name or anything? Like the guy that was playing Nez. Or Nez Sucks.
Nez Sucks.
That was an incredible match.
It really was.
Here's the thing that sucks. I was really busy on that section. I was doing all the raffle tickets and people were coming up to me and doing all that. I was getting chats
it was
and stuff.
quite early on, so it was still like a lot of...
So I literally got a couple of glances over and I looked over when it was you and this guy one-on-one. I was like, oh, that looks really intense. Oh, right,
I was on my absolute, like...
To be fair, the good thing about that 8-player thing is you can have, as soon as some of the guys are KO'd and the match goes on really long like that we could just sort of like walk off and help out and stuff. Like I was sort of walking off and helping out as well. But I was watching it. I watched it all back when I was uploading it. It was an incredible match. Like,
I watched it back with Richard. He wanted to see it. And
it was intense. Absolutely brilliant. That's the magic of that game. The magic of that game really is people that know what they're doing with that game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because...
And don't just
a lot of the
same
people
smash attacks over and over again like I do. Oh, I'm really high. Do the ground stamp thing.
Oh yeah, there was Ben, wasn't it?
Ran fire hydrant.
Cat's friend from the Anime Club, who called himself Goku. He played as Bowser.
Oh yeah.
He was a big fan of the grab moves. Big fan of Bowser's grab. Big fan. But yeah, no, I wouldn't change a thing about that. It was really good. And I'll tell you who surprised me. Lex was really good at the game. Like, I know he's got it.
Yeah, there was an amazing bit where it was you, Lex, and the Nez guy. And so you had 2 links, and there was an incredible bit where he was stuck between you 2, and you were both doing the same move against him at the same time, like squashing him down between. It was like 2 links. Like just spinning at him, it looked
like
amazing.
A chain link.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, I love that. That particular moment was like
he really surprised me. Like, because I was assuming that I didn't expect him to be, because he hasn't got a Wii U as far as I know. Or,
do they play quite similarly though? Similarly,
I guess so. I don't really know. I haven't actually.
I'm pretty sure they would.
Yeah. But no, just the way he handled himself, not only against me obviously, but against everyone. Even in the other round where I was out in the first fucking round because I played as Fox and I was shit. But even in that round he got really far in.
I would have loved to have seen you play with Luigi.
Oh wait, no, he didn't play the second round, did he? It was you that did really well.
No, I didn't do well on either. I was out pretty quick.
No, it wasn't you, it was Rob.
Yeah.
It was Rob that did really well.
Yeah,
see, I wanted to fight Rob, but
quick.
he was in the second match, which, like I said, I lost in the first round. I really wanted to fight Rob because I fought him before, and he's another one who's very practiced at it. And he said he used to play it for food in his university.
For food?
Yeah. So,
otherwise, you would just not eat that night.
He's quite a skinny guy.
He doesn't win.
Right, this one's for noodles. Ah. Shit.
Slice of bread? No.
Right, I'll just drink some tap water then.
And apparently not.
I'll
amazing.
stand
Smash
outside in
Brothers
the rain
4.
with my mouth open.
We'll win at Smash for food.
We'll smash for food.
We'll smash for smash.
That means 2 things. Oh, smash is in the map. That means 3 things. Wow. Getting deep.
Oh, you were talking about the instant mash.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, how slow am I?
Yeah, so no, yeah, the Smash Bros was a real
Aliens
highlight
on
for
the
me.
tin.
I definitely, if we do another one of these events, I definitely want to do that because it's a great mix of audience participation.
Oh, that's another thing I loved about the night.
competitive
Just people joining in on the games as well.
Yeah,
That's what's good
absolutely.
about having as many big multiplayer games like that
Yeah.
as possible.
And the audience turnout, like you say, was a lot more than I expected.
Yeah,
Really.
Yeah,
We've been to
I was
these-
expecting a few people to turn up and then the whole place become empty at 12, but it actually didn't happen that way.
I know, actually stayed
It's
pretty
amazing.
good the whole night.
And also,
some people stuck it out the whole night. There was a brilliant moment where one of the guys was actually sleeping right behind us while we were doing speedruns. It was Revenge of Shinobi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it picks up in the actual capture, but that one point where you died in that game, he suddenly just arose and just went, "I'm awake." That was fantastic. Like, I'm awake, and we were like, "Oh, sorry." He was like, "No, I needed to get up anyway. I'm glad you did."
Yeah, I lost my mind.
Yeah, but to be honest, when you watch that back, it really is bullshit. You don't even see it coming. It's just one tiny little thing hits you, like off screen somewhere. It's just like,
Another reason I got so mad was because that has happened a few times in practice, and I knew the way to avoid it, but I didn't do it right.
You fool!
I need to
Foolish
jump.
fool.
I needed to
You
jump a
foolish
little
fool.
bit later.
Yeah,
But yeah,
foolish fool was a bit of a.
that was the
a
thing
theme
of the night. Yeah.
Foolish fool.
But can I just say, a little bit of a highlight for me was one of the things that made me want to do this event in the first place was watching last year Games Done Quick, and I loved the layout of a speedrunner, and it had like the audience in the background, that kind of stuff, and the participation audience, and it was really nice to get a little bit of a taste of that. With my Castlevania run was the first of the sort of speedrunny block.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Not only did it all just go really well, that whole run was like pretty damn good, wasn't it? It was pretty solid.
It was
apart
under
from
an hour. So
a couple of mistakes on the last boss.
better
Was
than
really
the
nothing
test
that
runs.
bad.
So I went back and looked at the test ones, and they were just over an hour. So,
Yeah.
No, it's a really good run actually.
Yeah. And there was that point right at the start where you did that the death glitch where you like skip death, and one of the guys behind just went, "Oh, so it is a speed run." He's like, "Oh, so it's a speed run."
Oh, so you are a cheating bastard.
That was the bit that made him go, okay.
The way you absolutely buggered the Dracula fight at the start as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was always trying my best not to get hit during that fight so I can get slightly better stats.
Yeah.
And as a result, I'd end up not. I'd end up getting Maria come and save me because I'm a pansy. But yeah, you just like, just make it rain on him, Make it rain, twat him in the knee a few times, go now.
Yeah, one of the absolute highlights for me was Alex Kidd's. That run was spectacular. And
really
that surprise,
good.
the surprise, when you were telling me earlier in the day, oh, I've got a surprise for you at the end of Alex Kidd, I was like, you know what I legitimately thought it was going to be? I thought when the game was going to end, you were going to pull out an onagiri and start eating it at the end, or something, just like some weird little gimmick or something. And you thought, oh, that would be cute. But that's all I was thinking. I had no, for some reason, glitch didn't fall into my mind at all. I don't know why.
You should have, because I am the glitch finder general.
Well, just to explain for anyone who might not know, we played Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle. Phil did an incredible speedrun. It's my personal highlight of the entire night, that one, was that run.
I think it is probably.
Yeah. There was like one tiny mistake that really isn't that much of a problem.
Yeah, well, I planned for it. I said, I should have said on the stream, but I said at the beginning of the night, I'm going to lose the bike on the water level.
I really didn't.
If I don't, I literally shave off a good, like, I'd say at the very most about 12 seconds of the total run.
Yeah.
So it's really not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just getting through Hi-Ho Forest on the bike is mighty impressive.
Yeah,
I'm rather proud of it, but whatever, it's fine.
So basically, yeah, you did the run perfect. That one little mistake, which really doesn't matter, got all the way through it. And then what it was like a day or two before the event. Obviously, me and Phil were...
That's what astounded me even more, the fact that you only just discovered it just before the event. It wasn't like planned weeks in advance.
Not only that, but the very day before I was saying to Phil, right, practice that glitch and get it down. And then I gave you the tip of using audio cues, didn't I?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he makes 7 whingy noises as he walks off.
It sort of speeds up at the end as well. He does like 2 slow ones and then 3 fast ones, doesn't he?
But yeah, it's just on the 5th one, you just gun it on the helicopter, and that just gives you enough upward momentum to just walk through the walls.
Yeah, and like the helicopter just disappears. And
But the music carries on playing, which I love. It's like the helicopter's gone, but you're still technically in it.
So yeah, just to try and explain, it's right at the very end of the game, facing the last boss. You do like 2 rounds of Junk and Poe, and then you fight this boss. He sort of throws hands at you, and you got to avoid the hands and kick him in the face. And there's
I just shot him in the chin with a jerk.
Yeah, you can use the helicopter to just sort of fire missiles from him from afar.
I shot my load all over his chin.
And then when the boss dies, you still have control over Alex, but the boss kind of leaves the room.
Yeah, you go through a door and then you walk and follow him.
Yeah,
and then there's
you lose control of your character after a little while.
Yeah,
but during that time, you can use the helicopter. You can still be in it, and yeah, like as Phil was saying, like the boss makes a load of sort of noises, but he does 7 of these weird whinge sounds.
Yeah, and on the 7th one, you auto walk like
that's the point where it, like that would be like the time point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's
the way you lose control.
Yeah, and he automatically runs to the right, which leaves the room. But if you're in mid-flight with a helicopter, the momentum of where you are, up or down, and how fast you're travelling up, because to use the helicopter you have to mash the jump button, and that is the speed of how you use the helicopter. And yeah, Phil discovered, I don't know if it was it accident at first? I think it was.
I was just dicking about.
Yeah.
The very first time I did it, I'd never been able to recreate. I did it really slowly, didn't I?
Yeah, it took ages.
What, he was just walking really slow?
I was just literally just piddling about in the middle.
He was
of
like
the screen.
edging up the wall in pixels for ages, and we were
Jesus.
dumbfounded just looking at the screen like,
we were just thinking, what's going to happen when I hit the ceiling? And I just went through it and be like, what?
You know what, I really
And
hope
then
at some
just
point we can
honed
actually live stream or just do more videos of you doing more speedrun attempts and do different variants of that glitch. Because apparently you said you managed to do it in loads of different ways.
Yeah, well there's one where you can go downwards and you just, as soon as you hit the bottom, like the absolute bottom screen, you just boop, boop, and just die. and then you go back, carry on and fight the boss again.
You go back like at the checkpoint in the last level.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. But one of the times he done it. Sorry, I've just got to finish explaining it. So
you're still auto walking right.
Yeah.
But depending on how you've mashed the button, whilst in the helicopter, depends on how fast you'll be going up or falling down.
Yes, that's the thing as well. You go up. Yeah, you don't just walk to the right. You actually go up or down depending on how fast the helicopter was going in that direction.
I tried going left or right, but obviously you always walk right, so you just sort of you just sort of go left or right.
But on one of the attempts, so basically, Alex will walk against the wall, not being able to leave the door at the bottom because that's only like 2 blocks wide. And in this instance, you'll go up. And Alex will just walk against the wall, but also edging up in that direction, up or down, in the speed of where you would go with the momentum. And he'll eventually just hit the roof, but clipping will just make you go through the roof. And you'll go into the next screen.
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any collision on that roof, because you're not intended.
Well,
no, I guess there would have been.
Yeah, no, because you do lose the helicopter if you hit the roof.
Oh, of course,
you just fall down upside down.
Yeah, of course,
And generally,
I kind of want to try it with the bike. What I want to do, right? It'd be
That's
great.
Interesting.
Literally on the 7th whinge noise. Literally, like if I'm at the top of the screen in the helicopter, then I press start as soon as the 7th comes up. Press start quickly and switch to the bike.
If you can.
And then see, you'll just fall with the bike, and then you'll be auto-moving, but you'll still lose the bike when you hit the wall. So I don't know what will happen. I have to try that.
Ever since.
Try the pogo stick.
Ever since you done that glitch, I've been looking everywhere to see if anyone's heard of it or seen it. I posted the video on Reddit in the Mega Drive subreddit and just went, has anyone ever seen or done this before? So far, no one has replied to say that they've ever seen it before. But they haven't necessarily said they haven't seen it before or have seen it before, so I'm not entirely sure.
So
but I looked up speed runs, I looked up any kind of playthrough I could find, and pretty much every playthrough, all they did is got behind the boss and just kicked him a few times, and then just
that
went
is
straight
how
through
you
the
do
door.
it without the helicopter. You just jump. And
so I wouldn't be surprised if most people don't even think to bother using that.
Well, it was Tom's idea. He used to do it as a kid.
Just get the missiles.
Because I just did the kicking thing.
Yeah.
I always just went behind him and just jumped a lot.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I've been looking all over the place, and so far, like, I haven't found anything about it. So I don't know, but it might be.
I think you've got it. I think you've played it.
You might have a new thing.
But I mean, there's also the magic cane, which makes you float around. So like anything could happen with that as well.
Yeah, that's true. You might get even different.
Well, your glitch, do all the experimentation you can find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we should start.
Do a video on it.
When we start doing live streams, I think that would be a good time
to
get some of that going.
Yeah, film the live experimentation of it.
I
mean, I've been wanting to kickstart a feature on Lucky Hit for a little while now called the Glitch Finder General, because Phil really is the Glitch Finder General. He just does. He just plays games in such a way that
I just find.
Well, you were also the one that discovered in Guardian Heroes, again, one of the highlights of the night, being able to just phase through walls and get really close with just the villagers from that game.
Yeah. I don't know why the warrior fighters don't do it.
Because the way that game works is there's 3 layers.
Yeah.
There's like the front layer, the middle layer, and the back layer. Yeah. And when you press the shoulder button, you're basically jumping between them 3. Every character has a jump animation, but because they have no jump animation or anything of that sort, they don't even go. They don't go between the layers. They just go in between every. They must use every layer that exists in the game.
It's like you become the audience.
I think
you're like
it's a shame you can't pick other levels in that game, because I bet you that very end point that they can the characters can walk all the way in the distance to is probably the furthest back the parallax goes. For example, that might be as far back as all the layers of parallax in the backgrounds are. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. That's where the clouds would be or something.
That's awesome.
I mean, the night was just insane, wasn't it? It was full of moments like that.
That was easily the funniest moment.
We sort of broke Guardian Heroes by playing as civilian characters and doing all kinds of weird, just walking in the front of the screen.
2 old men coughing, just juggling me in the middle.
Incredible.
Help!
Such a good.
It's incredible.
That whole session we were just falling apart.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We were just laughing and couldn't keep.
Basically, what we're saying is, if you didn't get to see the live stream on the night, please check out the videos. We basically put up every video separated by game.
They're all in the right order as well.
Yeah, they all are up, with the exception of the raffle, because we wanted to get that video out quick.
Yeah.
Because we wanted people to see.
To announce the winners.
Yeah.
So, oh god, what was the other highlight? There was Micro Machines.
Yeah. That's always a highlight.
That's going to be a staple.
That's going to be a staple at this point.
Basically, we played it for about half an hour on one level.
We could have played it all night.
We have. We actually had, when we were saying about a podcast gap one time around a party, that was, I think, the first time?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I think
we were just playing.
It was us 3 and Rob, wasn't it, that time as well?
Right.
It was even
that's
my
why we really wanted Rob in again for this time,
Oh, we had to have Rob. He's part of our Micro Machines team.
Yeah. We're gonna keep those characters with those names as our permanent ones, I think. Shucks and Boobak. Tucker.
What was Rob?
Rob was just Rob with an exclamation point. Rob! Yeah.
So yeah, basically we loved the level on the kitchen table. It's called Ferry Fiasco, and it's where halfway through the stage there's
the only level.
Yes.
It's the only one that exists.
Halfway through the stage, there's this sponge that you have to sit on, and usually the idea is you have all the cars on the sponge, you're sort of trying to jostle each other off the sponge, and the sponge will literally ferry you across from one side to the other. And yeah, we discovered not too long ago that you could really mess with that. You can go around the side of the sink, which confuses the game.
Yeah, there's just like a little edge to the sink.
Yeah,
you can't go up the top, but at the bottom there's just a little rim to the sink.
And that's the thing, because you can reach the end of that rim before the sponge has actually made it all the way across.
Go quicker.
So you can just hooray for you!
Yeah.
Because the way Micro Machines works is if you take a major shortcut at any point in Micro Machines, it will just disqualify you and it will teleport you back to where you were.
But and you can get yourself back on the track.
The problem with that sponge section is it technically doesn't have a track where the sink part is. So
it just counts the sponge as
it counts. Well, it doesn't even count the sponge.
No,
really. It sort of counts from where the track ends and the sink begins to where it begins again on the other side, and that completely confuses like the disqualification things. It can't tell who's taking shortcuts.
The game gets so confused.
Yeah, sometimes if you're going ahead on the sink rim and you go far ahead, if someone's waiting at the back nearer to the actual track, they will win because they're technically nearest to the track.
Yeah, but there's times when two people are like neck and neck on the rim of the thing, and it will just delete one of them.
Yeah.
Literally just like
it's just luck mode. It's like it just throws. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's one of the most fun things to ever put in a video game.
Absolutely.
Even whether it was intentional or not, you know.
Well,
something tells me we just found the glitchiest part of the game.
It ties in with the glitch finding thing. Because
it does.
It kind of does.
Finding glitches can be one of the funnest things to do in a game.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a game that you've grown up with and you know inside out and you love to bits.
Yeah.
I want to find other glitches on different levels on Alex Kidd.
When I was looking up to try and find that glitch, I was finding there are glitches in the original Master System one that actually like screen warp and all that kind of stuff. So it might even be a similar thing where like I haven't actually looked at them properly yet, but I think there are like major glitches in that game where you can just teleport. And maybe even do similar things where you're using like the scrolling with the character and all that kind of stuff using certain weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's a similar case with that game. So
I just wish there was a way to glitch through Sky Chase Zone in Sonic.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, speedrunners.
Yeah, even like actual like big time speedrunners can't do anything there. They're just like, oh well,
they just have to play.
Just gotta wait.
Yeah, I was watching it this year on Summer Games.
Even if you play it on debug mode, you can't.
Yeah.
Because the level doesn't have a map. It just like spawns in stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even on Games Done Quick this year, that when he got there, he just went, "Oh, we're going to be on a auto scroller for a few minutes now."
Read out some donations.
Yeah. And then he was dicking around, showing off, and he fell off and died.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you spin dash too quickly, you can just.
When you're saying about like having fun with glitches, that's why. You know, when you were playing Sonic 2, I was saying I probably played the Sonic games in debug mode more than I played them legitimately because they were just so fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
One of the things I found with the way I found out that Sky Chase is not a map, it's just like sprites spawning in, is the clouds, they're not a background, they're actually sprites that actually have a moving thing, because when you're in debug and you select the item, you can pick the clouds and you pick them and they just like, as soon as you put them down, they just start moving in that direction. So they are actually sprites. They're not a part of a background or anything like that. They're not like a parallax effect. They're just sprites. They're like enemy patterns.
But wouldn't it have been easier if they were just a parallax effect?
I don't know why they went that way. Maybe it was simpler to do it that way. But
they probably clash when the.
I mean, like Sonic 3 in particular, that there was like. You pretty much have to use a Game Genie to get your debug in that game, because the actual debug code for that game is like you have to press right 5 times within the moment that the Sega logo comes up and Sonic comes in. It's impossible. It's so fast. You have to do the code within the time that Sonic flies into the screen. It's just not possible.
But supersonic speed.
The things you can do just in like, just in Angel Island, like I must have spent at probably tens of hours.
Island, don't you? Angle is land.
Like the amount of things you just mess up in that game, and like some of the weird items that would come up, like there was like a red spear, like the ones in the special stage that you could select in Angel Island, that for some reason makes every yellow sprite, like the ring's red, and then it glitches loads of stuff, and there's just so many weird things. There's like a Sonic 2 sprite of Sonic surfing with a bunch of like weird glitchy mess behind him, like a wave that just flies around the level only in Angel Island Act 1. You can just select it, and it's before the part where the flames come up, so all the sprite set changes.
What?
And it's just like a beta sprite of Sonic on a surfboard, and it just floats around the screen and just flies around. And any time it comes near Sonic, all his limbs become swapped about, and his animations all buggered.
Oh my god!
Because he's obviously using the same tile set.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, when I was a kid, I even started drawing a comic strip about it. it was that's how like kind of obsessed with like glitching that game I was. So yeah, always been fascinated.
We do love finding a nice glitch.
Yeah.
Nice juicy glitch. You gotta let them back into the ocean. Nah, fuck them.
What?
Hook them in, reel them in, grill them up, cook them up, eat them up. Lovely. Nice with a bit of soy and ginger, mate. I don't know.
So yeah, basically that night was incredible, and we definitely need to do that again sometime.
I want to do it again now.
We are doing
right this minute.
No,
we are going to do one in winter. I'm not sure if the venue's going to be the same yet. I'm not sure.
We'll find a way.
On the menu. I don't know yet.
We'll find a way. We've already started thinking about games for it. Obviously, we've got some that we're going to do again.
I want to do a long play at some point. Something like Dark Souls. Something really
That'll just be you
screaming.
screaming.
That was like the first major live stream thing we've done. But soon we want to actually start doing more live streams, don't we?
Ah, yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, like,
we want to get a half decent poxy internet connection.
Yeah, that's been our like main.
Well, half decent old poxy, make up your mind. You've already got a poxy one.
Kind of both.
My back itches. I'm going to try and use my keys to scratch them. Yeah, scratching it.
You end up with loads of scars on your back, though.
Unsuccessful. I can't reach the bastard.
Right. So yeah, that was our charity livestream event. We're incredibly chuffed with it.
Yeah, we are.
It's got to be one of the like proudest moments of everything we've done on Lucky Hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because of the money we raised as well. Like, in particular, but also just how fun it was and everything. So
every single aspect of it.
Couldn't like.
The only one kind of downer on the whole thing was how I busted my ass trying to promote it, and just local press and BBC just wanted nothing to do with it.
Yep.
It's positive gaming, so they know.
Yeah.
If I had a story about us all making, I don't know, a rape gang, because
the games influenced us.
Grand Theft Auto told us to go out and rape, they'll probably love that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when it comes down to game blame, they love that shit.
Yeah.
Video games turn this once innocent boy into a not so innocent boy, who is now a serial sodomist.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit bitter about that. When we do our next event, I will try again, but.
Well, at least this time,
at
least next time we can say, well, we made 309 quid last time, so it was a success.
Oh, can I just say that also sort of touched me a bit as well, was a couple of days after the event, I got a thing through the post. I was thinking, what's this? I'm not expecting anything. And it was a nice little certificate from Special Effects to say, like, thank you very much. Of, like,
so sweet.
300, it's like a £300 sort of total put on it.
It's even got like it's even got all the comments on the back that people left on the Just Giving page. They printed that out on the other side, so
we're going to get that framed. And,
absolutely.
I mean, that was just the icing on the cake, really, because I was still kind of buzzing. Sorry, my voice keeps going. I was still kind of buzzing over it. Don't usually use the word buzzing, but I was still feeling very euphoric, just sitting there. And obviously it took me a couple of days to recover. because we did the 12-hour live stream, but the setup and all the hassle for the day, it was more like 24 hours for us.
Yeah, because we were
back and forward all day and
I had to go there like 3 times to get all the consoles there.
Yeah.
I had like 2 suitcases to take up there and I had to do it all on shifts. And then
basically we had a giant setup.
When we were done at about 10 o'clock the next morning, I had to do it all again.
We had a
feeling like a zombie. I felt like I was going to fall asleep while walking home, like with a suitcase. I was like,
I can say that is possible.
Yeah,
I have fallen asleep while walking before.
Yeah, that was the closest I've ever felt to do it there.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't want to make a big deal of it on the day, but I had actually done my foot in.
Yeah, a few days prior, we were really worried about that, yeah.
Moving at all was really
difficult. In case anyone was wondering why you...
I had a walking stick.
Yeah, why you had a walking stick, yeah.
I don't know still what really happened to my foot, but I sprained my...
some way?
I guess so. I woke up one morning having sprained my toe, and me being sort of like, whatever, I'll get on with it, I ended up limping all the way from yours to town, which is like a good 20-minute walk on an average.
Yeah.
And all that limping just caused my muscles to just really cramp up. And I was told to keep off it for a week, but obviously that was like the day before we had to do the event.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it almost sounded like you wouldn't even be able to make it.
Yeah, but I was never going to miss it, so I had to just suck it up and use a walking stick.
I think you took the bus from there.
Yeah, but thankfully the like 4 flights of stairs at Astro weren't too difficult for me. I managed to get through that relatively.
Yeah,
so that was
good.
Yeah.
Crazy night. So I was still feeling fantastic about that, and I just wasn't expecting that through the post. I felt a bit kind of, I don't know, quite
proud.
Yeah, proud. Yeah, very
absolutely proud.
Yeah. First thing, it's my first foray into any kind of I mean, for me, it's my first foray.
Was that a sketch in The Simpsons where they put their necks up and they hear their necks crack? It's like, oh, I actually feel proud for once. What's this feeling?
Putting your head up high.
Yeah.
It's obviously I'm proud.
I don't know if I'm speaking for all of us, but that was certainly my first sort of foray into any kind of like charity. Or
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the first time I've done anything like that as well. So
I've
definitely not lost.
No, that's it.
I've had involvement in. I mean, Media Shed wasn't a charity, but it was kind of. It was like a thing to get people involved without.
Thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a community project which felt very similar, like to the kind of goals and aspects of what was being done, like ways to use technology to help people and to just sort of, So it actually felt very familiar when we actually started making contact with Special Effect. I was like. Kind of.
The actual night was almost a little bit like back when you used to do them gaming things as well at the Media Shed as well.
It was like that, but if we live streamed it.
Yeah, we mentioned those before on the podcast. Right?
I believe we have. We have brought them up before when
we used to do live music with that as well. Yeah. I'd like to bring that back. Yeah, it's a live stream like an actual.
I think that's where this could be. Awesome. I think that could even be an element of future ones.
Oh wow!
I think that's a really good idea.
We've kind of let our music simmer on a very low boil right now.
That is a very good idea, though.
I do like the idea of mixing it up, so it's not just pure gameplay as well, and a bit of extra stuff as well.
Well, we want to do like all kinds of things. We want to I love the idea of the asking questions thing.
Yeah.
Because that ties in with what we're doing right now, the whole podcast thing. We're obviously very comfortable talking in depth about not just games and gaming, but just generally us and our interests and passions and stuff. So if we could get an audience to be involved in asking us questions about just about anything, I'd really like that. As long as they're not some of the questions we got. I think some people were getting a bit overtired.
I think we all were, but some of the people.
The questions were just getting
very strange,
surreal.
That's fine. We had equally surreal answers, I suppose.
Something about shooting lasers out of all my orifices.
Oh yeah. Right, I think now's a good time to move on to what we've been playing. And I think I know where this is going because I know.
I'll try and keep this as short as possible.
It's okay, we can. As people know, the Lucky Hit podcast has a second name that we don't tend to use. The Lucky Hit podcast is AKA the unofficial Morrowind podcast. So
it can get
take it away.
Okay, right. So I've mentioned the Morrowind graphics extended mod before. I'm pretty sure I have. I've been playing it on and off for about 2 years, I think. But I've never really got it running smoothly because I've always had computers that have had something wrong with them. With a little bit of fiddling around, my current computer, I'm just waiting at the moment to get more RAM. When I get some more dead-a-weeded wham. When I get some more dead-a-weeded wham. I'm gonna get it the Morrowind graphics extended. It's like the overhaul of graphics and a lot of game balancing mods, like loads of them. I'm gonna get that all running on its max settings, but at the moment I've got it on kind of modest settings. Because I think I've got a RAM card that's actually gone. Like, I think I'm actually running on like 2 at the moment. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not good. So yeah, I finally had a little bit of a fiddle around and got it working with the project that a lot of people know now as Tamriel Rebuilt. Yeah. And Tamriel Rebuilt is a project that I'm very pleased that I managed to get FlattheYounger playing now as well.
I seem to remember you saying
even the L. I swear you do that on purpose.
What?
Oh, FlattheYounger.
I don't say fat the
You
younger.
just did.
I'll say flat. Maybe I'll just say it a bit too quick.
Well, I got FlattheYounger involved.
I don't do that. I do not do that. Considering
I remember even on the night when we were wrapping up that night, you were saying, "Oh, the next day I'm going to get some wine and I'm going to play that Morrowind mod." That was like your mission. Like, when this is all over.
Yeah. Well, what it was, the reason for that is because I got it all working
for it for ages.
Just out of interest. I wanted to see if I can get it all working properly, including the Tamriel Rebuilt, which is relatively easy to get all working. It's mainly just Windows 8 being a bit funny with the security features that just messes things up.
I'm glad I'm still on 7.
Yes, I want to be on that
changing from 7 anytime soon.
So yeah, I got it all working, and I was like, I got it working on the week before this event, and on this week I was trying to chase people up for.
So yeah, it was a week before that you got that.
I got it all working. I was like, I can't wait to get into this, but I can't. So what I did is I was playing it, but like very small bursts. And yeah, I kept saying, as soon as this event's wrapped up and I've recovered, I'm gonna get myself a nice bottle. I wasn't originally trying to get.
You weren't shutting up about it the whole night. Like a couple of times you brought it up, like, "Oh, we're gonna get a wine." You were specifically stating your battle plan for the night. You had like this whole exact map in your mind of how it's gonna play out.
Well, this is a humorous story then.
Yeah, so
it was a couple of days after the event because I had to sleep, and then well, the thing that really sucked was when I got home on the Sunday after the event, I then had to dad. I couldn't go to bed.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I told you, Aaron, either. After the whole night and everything, being up all night, I got 6 hours sleep and I was fine the next day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was just
I think I barely got 2 hours.
Oh, really?
I got back. Yeah, I bet. It was so bright out, even with the blinds down, I just couldn't sleep.
One of the things I did to help us stay awake was on the way home, I grabbed loads of full English breakfast ingredients and we just had a massive fry-up.
Oh, nice.
That kept me going enough.
Doing something like that. Yeah.
And then, as soon as Hector, my son, as soon as he went to bed, like a nap in the day, I went as well.
Well,
and then I had to get
as
up.
I was
and that
drifting off for that sleep, Kat very nicely went out and got us both lunch.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she sort of woke me up with it, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, I'll see you later." And she left it there for me, and I woke up and the fucking cat had it.
Yeah, he got his pre-packaged sandwich. He got through the package.
Just ripped open the cellophane and was just like, "Right, where's all the meat?" And then I'll leave my
your cat is a tit.
He is a prick.
I'll leave my lanky, scabby
cat is
saliva and hair in the sandwich. Oh, he might as well have shat in my crisps as well.
I'll nick your sandwich, I'll shit your crisps.
I'll shit in your crisps. Have you had your drink yet? I had a few sips.
It's funny how sips is spits backwards. Spits.
So, as I was saying,
Oh, it's not loud.
fucking hell.
Oh. Ignore that.
So, yeah, it was a couple of days afterwards. I can't remember exactly what day it was. It might have been like it was either the Monday or the Tuesday afterwards.
It was either a Monday or a Tuesday.
So, I got hold of well, actually, Kat went out and got it for me, which was nice. I got a bottle of. It was Cabernet Shiraz Merlot. It was
So, just
3
all of
different
the
grapes.
All
Well,
of the ones.
the funny thing was, Kat said, "Oh, what do you like then? I know you like red," and I was like, "I like dark red." So my favourite's Merlot.
Okay.
Mine's Shiraz, I love that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's my second favourite, Shiraz, and then I do like Cabernet. So she went and got all 3, and it was it's proper Harvey's bottle. It was half price, so it was a decent price, and it was normally like a sort of 12 quid bottle. So this was like good stuff. So I was really chuffed with that, and then I got 4 cans of soda as well. And that's what messed me up. So I can honestly.
3 litre bottle of Coke.
Have you ever played Morrowind drunk? It's fucking awesome. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to.
I've played
There's something.
Morrowind in every
So it wasn't
stage
like
of
you were
the year.
gonna be in a recliner seat, like with the wine glass like this in your hand.
No,
That's
it was leant
ridiculous.
forward in his chair.
He's
Going,
literally just drinking all the stuff.
they have taken
John
me from
Morrowind.
Imperial City's prison to the east to Morrowind.
What is it? There's something about.
Basically, you wanted to get your intention wasn't to have like this. Like I imagined you as like.
So
when
you
got,
were thinking
like,
better of me.
Really, you just wanted to get pissed and play Morrowind.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically,
I should have guessed. Really.
I first discovered it about.
I kind of want to do that now.
Oh, it must have been about 8 or 9 years ago. It was when I first discovered it was. I was playing Oblivion on the PC.
Yeah.
I was playing it. Remember when Lewis had his PC? I was playing a lot of Oblivion.
Ugh,
Yeah.
the L word.
Yeah. And yeah, I did that. I had a bottle of wine and I was playing it, and I was just there was something I sort of discovered that with me personally, Elder Scrolls and alcohol just goes so well. And obviously,
Sounds like a song title. Elder Scrolls and Alcohols.
Elder Scrolls and alcohols, and something else, and I don't know.
Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was straight up Franz Ferdinand.
That was, yeah. That's kind of what I was doing.
Random words. Blah, blah, blah.
Random words and something else. And yeah, and then there was a few years back I was playing Skyrim with Mead. That was just
Skyrim with mead.
when you're pissed on Mead and the card goes past and goes, "I'll be a lot happier with a belly full of mead." You're like, yeah,
I certainly am.
Woohoo!
I hope Rayoff still mix the meat with the John of Harbiaras inside.
I think for me, I need to actually have a proper session of intentionally doing that. But I think my drunk game is probably Outrun 2.
Yeah, that was
remember.
fun.
Do you know what?
Like, I could still play
I
it.
want to see you pissed again. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah, you are an absolute.
You are fun
legend
drunk.
with your piss. You and Rob actually. I
Yeah.
want to get both of you pissed out of your heads and just
I think we got a feature there.
yeah. Gave her a
Drunk gaming.
Gave her a rub frog fuck about and get drunk doo doo doo. We didn't think that far.
No. Stacey's pretty hilarious drunk as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really hits the sauce, didn't she?
Yeah.
Really goes for it, yeah.
She's hilarious drunk.
She goes for the drink, she goes hard.
And she turns into Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, I think we all just need to get drunk again. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Let's
both,
go now.
I would
Let's just go
both
get
recommend and not recommend being on your own in the dark with headphones, preferably if you can, just to really like sensory deprive yourself from all outside stimuli. And Play Stalker, the first one. Shadow Shinobi.
Oh,
that game is
pissed out of your head.
Maybe
on
that
vodka.
sounds like a bad idea.
It's a bad
Or a
good
great
idea.
anime.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're like you're soaking up the atmosphere so much that you're shitting yourself.
I have to say, out of all games I've played, that game's got the best creepy atmosphere ever.
Yeah. Morrowind's got the best like I want to live here atmosphere.
I was gonna get
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, Chernobyl wins the creepy
You've both
award.
been playing this, haven't you? This mod, and you've
Yes,
both got.
yeah.
I think what we need to get into is the fact that you both play it very differently.
yeah, well, which I love.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hoping. And when Phil said, when you said, "Oh, I'm gonna download it as well," I was just like so happy because I knew that we were going to be exchanging little stories.
Yeah.
And we have. Yeah, I was just wrapping up the whole getting drunk thing. That it is quite amusing because I got really into it and I was just like, I love this world. It's so good.
I love you. You just start crying.
And I can honestly say that the next morning I felt like crap.
Even more crap.
Oh,
because of that all-nighter.
It's
I had
all like,
horrible
he discovers
hangover.
his Google searches from the night before. It's like trying to eBay a pet Nix hound. Where can I find Sunder?
Oh, me.
And yeah, that was a good night. Just what I wanted as a little treat for that
Yeah.
event. Apparently, this project's been going since the game actually came out. Because Bethesda said during the build-up that they wanted to basically. Morrowind was the first game, as they do it as standard now, where they kind of get referred to by fans. Have you ever heard of this? They call it a continent in a box.
Yeah.
like Oblivion and Skyrim are named a continent in a box because the games are so grand in scale, and they are literally the entire continent of where that game's set. And Morrowind was the first game that they intended to do that, but they didn't end up doing it, Bethesda, because of various time constraints. They ended up just doing, because they had the same map all the way through the whole series, so even on the first game you can see Morrowind, it's like a U-shaped country with a little island in the middle. And so they ended up just doing that island in the middle, Vardenfell, and the map itself is quite big, but compared to like Morrowind and Oblivion, it's not. It's big for the time.
Well, it's actually 3 miles in diameter.
Yeah.
Which really, when you think about it, doesn't sound that much.
It doesn't sound like much, but the thing about Morrowind is you can't go 2 minutes without
it's
a cave.
so handcrafted.
Yeah.
Everything is put there on purpose.
Yeah,
Nothing
there's no
is
generation
like,
in it.
No, they don't just copy paste.
Yeah,
stuff,
just you know, use the paint fill bucket with some forest up that mountain and put some lazy invisible walls up there.
Yeah.
Every single leaf in Morrowind is put there because it was supposed to be there.
Yeah. The game, we can go on for a very long we can go on for a long time how much we love this game, and we are actually intending to do that very soon with a video.
We have a very, very big
so if you are into that, you can watch that video. If not, you can fast forward through this bit. But
yeah, hit your fast forward button on YouTube.
You know that function.
Yeah, that function that exists.
We have that function.
Just press the buffer button.
So yeah, they've been making it since the game supposedly came out, which is like it was about 14, 15 years now.
Yeah. It was 2002.
Wow.
So yeah, about 13, 14 years.
And yeah, it's a group of fans that have got together who wanted to deliver on the original promise of the entire country of Morrowind, and doing it in the same vein of Vardenfell. So it's really beautifully handmade
and everything's there for a reason. So they're not just half-arsing it. They are doing it the same way.
Every mission is individually scripted as well. That's the thing.
Wow.
Like, there's no read quests. There's no like, you know, fetch A from B cave.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally like every like the sort of Wikipedia style dialogue system that they've got is individually hyperlinked to like a journal entry that they have to make. And I've seen the scripting for it. It's so intricate. Like,
that's what I was going to say.
I couldn't begin to learn the scripting.
We've had a bit of experience doing a little bit on the Elder Scrolls construction kit, which comes with every copy of Morrowind, which is what they've used to make it. That's what I loved about Morrowind. Morrowind delivered.
They actually gave them the tools to do.
Well, here's the amazing thing about
they didn't like hack this stuff.
No, they probably made it through the construction.
This is what makes me really proud to be a Morrowind fan. When they made Morrowind, it came as standard with the game. It wasn't anything extra like it is with Oblivion and Skyrim. It was the Elder Scrolls construction kit. It was the very program they used to make the game. So they made this program, and then they didn't like simplify it or anything like that. It is that program. You have that with the game.
So that's how these people have gotten to the point where they can build.
That's right. It's not just a mod where they've gone in and they've actually just used that construction kit, which was used to make the game, and that's what's and basically,
it's limitless, really, the possibility.
It is insane. So all this time has passed, and they've released about, I think, 3, maybe more than that, but I think it's 3 major. The way they were doing it originally, they've stopped doing it now. They've sort of made it more like. I'll explain it more in a minute, but they're doing it now periodically, where when they make a little update, they'll add that in, and you can upload it. Download it, sorry. But the way it was originally done is they were trying to do it in the same vein as the expansion packs. So they had names for them. Like one of them was Albilexia, and another one was I can't remember what the first one was called.
The Farlands? I think it's just the Farlands.
The Farlands is like the whole thing. It's referred to as the Farlands, and that's just because what that's referring to is generating the extra land. But yeah, basically they did it as these huge expansion packs, but now they're not. But basically, throughout the years they've released these like 3 massive packs, and it's like little chunks of the world, starting from the right, going down and to the left.
You showed me the map of like the original game,
and you can
and
see
you zoomed out to show all the stuff, and you could see like the cutouts where they've stopped, basically.
Obviously, whenever it gets to a point where they're finished, I don't know when that. It could be another few years. Obviously, they're going to just smooth the land off into the sea, and then that's it's going to because the way the game's done, it's not like Oblivion and Skyrim. Skyrim, they actually had like a cut-off point.
The entirety of the map is drawn up from the sea. You have a layer, like an endless, I guess, layer of dirt and water, and then you use the graviton to just
until
raise
it's above.
and then you can like use a flattening tool to flat it out as being living.
So it's not like a float. It's not like an island that's just been slacked on top of the sea.
It's literally dragged up from the sea like something out of black and white. Like, you do feel like a god just like picking the land from and just putting trees and rocks where they're.
Well, the project itself, like the amount of care.
Made a huge town. The starting town in the game is called Sidonin, and originally I wanted to make a little project called Little Sidonin, which is a tiny little like add-on to the side where there's just a bunch of swampland and not much going on. But I ended up actually making this town that was like 6 times the size of Sidonin, and it was such a nice town. I don't know if you ever got
the irony is it's actually bigger.
It's actually currently laying on a hard drive that I have no real access to. And I really hope I haven't lost it for good, because I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant to actually see that.
We couldn't get our head around the quests, could we? It was just so hard. Like the coding required is because, like I said, they didn't simplify it. So the coding required for quests is really awkward. But what I did do, the only thing I ever did was I made 1 extra house inside an inn, and I made a crossbow that was really good, that was hidden in like in between the bed. That's the only thing I did. But that's what's so great about it. You can use a construction kit just to build yourself a nice house. And go like, I want a nice house with a big library attached, and I'll just make that. It's like
that's just kind of what we're planning to do. We want to make a library with every book in
Does it let you? Does this constructor's kit let you export your own 3D models in? Or
I believe it does.
It does, because they've added new enemies, new architecture.
I was going to say it's not just like a tool set of like default stuff that they've cobbled together.
Honestly, there's like nothing.
I can't believe I never thought of this before. Can you make your own race and voices? Why don't we skin us and make like noises and stuff? Why haven't we done that?
You can put in voice acting and stuff. In fact, I want to know if the Tamriel Rebuilt project need voice actors, because I'm fine. I'm good.
That's what I was going to say. The other thing I was going to say as well is
I can
anyone
absolutely
can join.
nail the Dumber voice. I'm not going to do it now because it's.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure we can work out a fair price.
Oh, that's the Altma.
Oh yeah.
And then of course there's the Bosma. I have a feeling you and I are about to become very close.
Yeah, I was going to say, on their website, Tamriel Rebuilt, they said that people could join. Like,
oh wow, maybe you should try and jump in on that.
Oh, I'd love to, but
I want to be a Breton.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it any justice from what I've seen.
I want to voice a Breton. I can absolutely. Ah, yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released.
So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I could do it. I could be a voice actor. I want to be a voice actor.
So, yeah, I've been wanting to get this game, like, this expansion pack working nicely with the graphics extended, because that's been the tricky bit, getting them both working.
I'm bored with that. I'm just sticking with the original graphics. Which is, again, kind of cool because it's like seeing the differences between, like, how Tom's
I like how you're both playing it in completely different ways.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
you go into that a little bit actually, like you're playing styles,
that's what
because you were telling it to me
just about
the other day.
Yeah.
It was quite,
it's quite amusing. But yeah, just one more thing I wanted to say is I've played, I don't even know how many hours now. Morrowind doesn't really connect hours.
Well, it does now. We've got it on Steam.
Yeah, that's the problem. The version I've got doesn't have Steam with all the mods on it. I've got two versions. I've got like one where I haven't messed with it. Yeah, it's just the normal Morrowind.
Well, I've done the opposite.
And then the one on the C drive is the one where I've just fucked with it.
Yeah, I've done the opposite to you. My Steam version is the modded one, and the non-modded one is just the disc version. So I feel like that's kind of the point of Steam is with games like that. It's like, oh, Skyrim, why haven't you modded it? What are you doing? Why don't you have Thomas Trains in the sky, you moron?
Yeah, I really should actually do that the other way around. Yeah. Well, just before I get into all that, I just wanted to say one more thing. To give you an idea of the scale of the map that still isn't even finished yet. We watched the video, didn't we? It was like 47 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
And right at the start, the guy quickly went through the start process, just like really quickly exited through all of the setting up the character and all that sort of stuff. He went straight into that side in the first town, and he just whacked the console box on, put it on God mode so he could fly around, no collision, all that sort of stuff, and put his speed up to like 1,000. And then turn the AI off so enemies won't come after you and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so literally just like he's a flying camera at that point.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he could have even got rid of the heads-up display, I think. He should have.
I don't know if he can.
Oh, right. Most games you can.
Either way, he flew through the map.
He went right up.
Showed
the fastest you could.
And then he spent about... He spent about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes going around the normal island of Vardenfell. And then he went to the far land. And it took him that like 40 plus minutes to go all around the far land.
At 1,000 times speed.
Yeah, 1,000 times the speed, high up in the air, not dawdling too long in towns. He was just sort of going there.
It's rocket speed.
And he still missed stuff because I was still going, oh, where's that town that I saw? Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, he's gone past it. So it took 40 minutes just to go through the whole map.
So it's a big map.
The Firelands in their entirety of what they've got so far, which is still only probably only about 50% done, really.
I think it's a bit more than that now, but not a lot of it's NPC'd and quested yet.
Now, I've been to that. There's towns with doors that just sort of open on their axis. You're like, oh, I'll go into this house. The door just sort of sinks inwards, and you're like, oh, alright, I won't go in.
You've gone over to those areas.
Yeah, well, it's just like you leave Ebonheart, and it's literally it's right there. Like you literally swim for about 2 seconds, and you're in a new town that looks amazing, but all the houses don't really exist.
But what's really cool about it is when you install it, you actually have the option to not have the areas they haven't finished yet. I decided to.
But I didn't like how much the map was cut off.
Yeah.
So I want to see more. So I just clicked the thing.
So yeah, basically I've got it on just so I can look around. But yeah, basically at the moment I'm in that top right corner still doing the first expansion pack. And I've been there for, if I have to tally it up over this week and a bit that I've been playing it, it's probably been something like 60+ hours.
And tiny corner.
Well, I've done a little bit more since, but not much.
Yes, that's how packed with everything.
It's just
like the actual game.
Yeah, I mean these group of the reason it's taken all these years is because they're not a great big team. They are a small group on an online community doing the best they can.
Yeah, they are just hobbyists. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not making any money, obviously.
But I don't know if this is going to be blasphemy to feel, but I just think their level of passion is kind of starting to rival the original thing.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the designs of the towns blow the original content out of water.
I do feel like in ways they're kind of missing the point a little bit, where you say you have things like these like bee-mounted guards and stuff. It doesn't really fit in too well with the lore.
You sure?
I mean, I don't know if it's ever written within the lore that the dukes and Telvanni wizards had like bee-mounted guards. Maybe it is written somewhere. It all just seems a bit like, I don't know, like they're trying to sort of add in their own things, which
possibly,
basically.
I suppose they,
Well, I could be wrong.
That's what fan projects kind of are.
Yeah,
I know, but with this particular project, I want it to be as purist as possible.
Yeah,
and for the most part,
it must be hard though, because they're not actually the original developers, so they don't have like.
All they really have is
they got the map, so they have to make the land look exactly like it.
Which they really
that
have.
is tricky, isn't it?
If you look at the intricacies of the map, because obviously as you pull up the land, I've seen it myself. I've pulled up an island from the sea myself, and it auto creates it on the mini map as that landmass. So they've had to do that perfectly.
Yeah, and then get rid of
to
bits because it's not
scale
right.
to the map. Yeah, like literally every little cut into the land with a bit of river is just done, from what I could tell so far, like pixel by pixel perfectly to what the actual drawn artist's concept art actually looks like.
Yeah,
and
it's mental.
So impressive.
And then they've had the towns aren't just placed; they actually have the lore of what's there. So they've gone on things like towns from Daggerfall, like where they were placed. The stories that are in the books that are throughout the entire game, and the other books
outside of the game.
Yeah,
there's so much lore that's just written about the world that never even makes it into the game.
Yeah,
that's why there's an official lore master that's been like hired by Bethesda to be like like anything that's considered official or unofficial is like deemed so by him at this point. It's like no. What about bee-mounted guards?
I wonder how much of this like they've actually had any. I wonder how much of this project they've actually like had any like, well, not involvement in, but like have like nodded.
Well, I mean, all over the wikis and stuff, the unofficial and unofficial wikis, like talk about the Tamriel Rebuilt project in high regard. So from what I can tell, they must have sort of had some kind of authentication somewhere down the line. Yeah. In my wildest dreams, I like to think that they're doing it all completely as pure as possible. Yeah. And it's all
certainly what they say.
And it's all just like going straight to Todd, and he's going, "Yep, good." I like it.
So, because obviously this has gone on for quite a while now. So basically what it is, me and Phil have very different ways of playing the game, and I think that's awesome. Like with a game where you can do pretty much anything you want. I mean, I do mean anything.
Except for sleep with girls.
Well, you've got the construction kit. I'm sure you can do something.
More like the construction kit.
I mean, one of the mods in that mod pack of the graphics extended is the one where you can get like knobs, knobs and fannies.
Pointless, really. I like
that
game trope where, like in Fable, you get little Union Jack pants that are your absolute nudity, and in Morrowind you get these weird brown sort of nappies. Like every character has a weird brown nappy. It's brown because, it was white when you first put it on. But you're completely nude apart from this brown nappy, and the women get it's like hemp, and the women get like a hemp bra and stuff. But all these crazy modders out there, they they get tits and knobs on display.
Of course, that's almost a given.
Also,
do you remember when I was playing once when I first got the graphics mod? Do you remember I was playing it and I was showing you I was in Solstheim, where you get these Nords that are naked, they're just called berserkers, and they do fatigue damage, and when you get too much damage you fall down. I basically feel sore. He was looking over my shoulder and I was fighting this guy and I just fell knob into face and I was just sitting there going
crouched down.
Just had his balls in your face.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah, but what I loved about it is in that particular mod they've given all the races different knob sizes. And from what I could tell, the Bosmer have the tiniest, like little acorn penises.
Who I always play as.
And the Nords have like big swinging donkey dicks.
Yeah. So yeah, basically I just had that in my face and I couldn't do anything until my fatigue came back. I was just like, oh, you're bested. Help. Help. He's slapping me with it. so yeah, me and Phil play very differently.
May the wind be on your back.
I can't describe the way I play. The way I play is, I don't know, I suppose it's just so slow. I really savour it. Yeah. So when I got into the first town of Firewatch, like you get there, you teleport straight there, and it's like that top right part of the map. Okay. It's a reasonably sized town. I wouldn't say it's a big town, because a big town in Morrowind is ridiculous. Especially in what I've seen in that Tamriel Rebuilt. They've just got ridiculous sized towns. So basically, I started off, you're in quite a big kind of like fort, and I was checking every nook and cranny, every room, stealing everything from every basket that I could. And so it took me like the first well over an hour just to get out of that first bit. And then I was like, oh, big town. Roll up my sleeves, this is going to take some time. The first thing I did was go to the docks and I swam around the boats so I could pick up the thing, like the pearls off the floor. There's little like starfish things that are new to the thing. Yeah, I picked those up. And then I checked the boats. There are some rooms left unattended so I can steal eggs from baskets and eat them to raise my alchemy. And then I was just joining all the guilds I could.
Alchemist then.
I am definitely an alchemist in that game.
You'd be stupid not to.
I mean, the amount of stuff that you can pick in that game is ridiculous. Every time I go out into a new bit of the wilderness, when I got out of the town, which took hours because I was joining every guild, doing quests that I could do in the town, and doing everything until there was nothing I could do that revolved going out. And like I said, I went into the wilderness, I was picking every plant, which takes ages. I was picking fights with everything, like even the friendly, like the guars and stuff like that. I was like, you, come here. Punching them, I was raising hand to hand. And basically, that's the way I can describe how I play.
You try to get every nook and cranny.
Every single thing. I don't like missing anything. So that's the thing. I've literally all these like 60, 70. I don't even know how many hours. I've literally. There's 3 towns I've covered basically. There's a couple of towns I've been to, but I said to myself, right, I'm not started on this town yet. I'm here to do an objective for another mission. So I ran to the person, I found the person I needed to go to, spoke to him, done that bit of the mission, and come straight out the town.
Covering the corners. So
exactly what it was.
So it's like, I can't see anything, so I haven't discovered anything yet. I'm not coming to this. Come back to this town until that one is 100% done.
That's right. Because I don't fast travel.
Every box on my list first.
I don't fast travel to a new town. I only did that because I wanted to finish that bit of quest, right? But I'm not going into like Helnham, for instance, the one to the south, the big town. I'm not going there until I've been properly sent there, and I'm going to make my way there through all the wilderness and stuff. So that's the way I do it. So I have like nearly finished all the quests in. I've finished all the quests in one of the towns, the smallest one, and I've got 2 more that I'm just wrapping up. But I'm also, my interpretation of wrapping them up is also finishing all the caves and stuff that I found on the way to them. So with Balora, for instance, the second town, it's actually quite big, medium sized. With that one, there's a couple of caves. One of them's a diamond mine, which I don't see often in the actual game. And the other one's an ebony mine, and there's loads of ebony, and ebony's really heavy, so I keep going in there, nicking the ebony. Yeah. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is it takes me forever, and I have covered, as you've seen, I've only done a little bit more since I've showed you. It's such a small. If I was to put a percentage to it, I'd say it's about 1.5–2% of the whole map, and I've been there for like 70 hours. Yeah, 60. If I had to put a guess on it, I'd say it's about 60 odd hours. Yeah, it's just mental. So pass over to FlattheYounger.
Flat.
I said flat. I'm not that much of an arsehole.
Yeah, I
Hurry up.
Yeah, I played it too. It was good.
Yeah, but like from what you've told me, because I love the fact that this is what I wanted, though, that we'll be just exchanging stories by going, oh, you got to see this thing I just did, because that's what we kind of do, isn't it? I just said, oh, have you done the one with the ebony mine, and you do this and this happens. Did I tell you about? Well, I try not to do that.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I did this weird squeak. As I was saying, like how much I love their ideas. Just one of the missions I had to do was a completely submerged Dwemer ruin. It was like completely sunk. That was fucking brilliant. That one. They do interesting things with pre-existing ideas, like the Dwemer ruins. Because there was another one that someone discovered in the bottom of a mine. And it was a whole Dwemer ruin. So you go through an egg mine, and then you go into a whole up Dwemer ruin. It's just, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's one of those in a normal game.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called Bethanez. It's like a weird. It's not really a whole Dwemer ruin.
I haven't even covered everything in the normal game.
That's like fairly sort of. Well, not early on. It's you do it for the Mages Guild.
That's why every single time I've played the original game, I've pretty much gone Thieves Guild, Great House Lalu, end of the game. So actually, I'm a bit blinkered, really.
Those are like the worst of both.
They're my favourite ones.
It's like the okay. I think Red Room's probably the worst house, but the Thieves Guild's fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's I mean. The rewards just don't match what you get from the other. Like, the rewards you get from the Mages Guild are insane, and the Telvanni tower that you get.
What, from the Mages Guild?
Yeah, no, from the Telvanni
house. Oh, Telvanni house.
Yeah, you, the tower you get is insane. It's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
It beats Divath Fuhrer and his Corpusarium and all that crap. Oh, look at me! I've got boxes that you can't open. Oh. Dickhead. He doesn't actually cure you of corpus.
No,
he does actually say you still got it. You just don't have the symptoms.
Yeah, he gets rid of the negative symptoms, and you end up with the living forever and not being diseased by anything.
And not aging. And what a prick for giving us all that amazing.
The thing about Morrowind is, in the normal storyline, is you sort of are
a god
born into this prophecy and. You're
like,
told by the Empire you're released from prison.
You're like fierce deity Nero.
Yeah, and you're told by the Emperor to go and basically fulfill this prophecy.
Fuck bitches and make money.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. And like it's probably the most powerful character in the whole series because he beats the shit out of the Dragonborn.
Oh, I can show people. Doesn't matter.
We like this game a bit too much.
It doesn't matter, as soon as I come crawling up behind you with sunder in my hand. Seriously, that hammer is just too much.
So
tiny little
more like
toffee,
dragon poos.
Tiny little toffee hammer that does like
it is like a little.
It does like 80 damage. And
just like one of those spongy hammers that go.
It's like one of them. Yeah.
Well, it's like a little, like a brass or bronze like hammer, but it's just it's crazy. You can bring down gods with it. In fact, you do.
Yeah, you actually have to with it. So sorry, because we really have to wrap this up. This has gone on for ages. I'm really sorry. If anyone's not into Morrowind, they have well and truly left this one. So sorry, just as I say, just go through what you've done in Tamriel Rebuilt and how you've sort of played.
I mean, I haven't touched on that as much because I wanted to make sure I was absolutely as prepared as possible. Well, I've tried to do the mainland Mages Guild because there's another Mages Guild you join for the mainland.
Yeah, it's a separate one.
It's all very like arse about tit really. Like I mean, it's done in such a way as to as to be a progression. Like, you know, you do the missions for this guy, that'll unlock your next rank to do the missions for that guy, and so on and so on. But yeah, I feel like there reaches a point where it gets a bit sort of, I don't know, just like progress halts for a good while. I guess to encourage you to.
I think I know what you mean, because I was talking about the town Run, where you help this Telvanni lord sort of get. He runs the town and the Ebony Mine, and it's failing. That quest line, I know exactly what you mean, because you do a mission and he goes, "Oh, come back in a day."
Yeah, exactly.
And then you wait a day, and you can just like wait,
I don't really like
rest of it. I don't do that at all. I have not done that. I've literally, because I've said about exploring, I've gone like, oh, I've got enough time to check this. What's it called? Ancestral Tomb. I haven't done that yet. And then, you know, I've leveled up a few times and stuff. Yeah, but then it gets to the point that mission, that series of missions went on forever. There was a bit where he was like, "Come back in 3 days." I mean, you're taking the piss now.
Come back in a year.
Oh, let's see.
Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 50 days.
Yeah, so that literally took a lot. That's been most of my time, has just been doing that one. Yeah. It felt like an entire guild.
Yeah.
And was the reward all that worth it? Not really.
It never is.
I kind of got a house, but like just because I killed the owner.
Yeah, I love that as well. It's so many houses you go in and you have to kill the guy inside, and you're like,
you end up the game.
I kind of can just have this now.
Yeah,
I could just buy it.
The game's it's empty for the rest of the game after
that. No one else ever moves in, so.
Yeah, I know. You literally by the end of this.
This is my holiday home. I only come back here for 1 week every year.
Well, that's the first thing I do every time I get to Balmora after leaving Saturn. I'm just like, right, Dora Grabol has this nice big 3-story house.
And you don't get in trouble for killing her because she's a felon.
Well, it's actually a mission to go kill her for the Fighters Guild.
But you can do it before that, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then when she asks you to do the mission and you click the wiki link to the mission, she just goes, "Oh, you've already done it. It's 200 quid." I'm like, yeah, I've already got Daedric weapons in our house. I've already disposed of her corpse with her shoes, already equipped. What I like to do is I grab all the useless crap she's got on her shelves and in all her boxes, put it on her corpse, and then I've got a tweak in the Morrowind code patch which has a bunch of cool little tweaks and stuff, which is you hold control and press dispose of corpse, and it doesn't do that irritating thing where it goes and takes all the stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I can literally use a body as a disposal.
That's pretty cool.
Put all the useless crap in and just go, bye.
Takes it all. She's buried with all her valuables, so you're giving her a good send off.
Yeah, basically.
Have your candlesticks and fuck off.
Oh, Cyril's hole. Fuck off. But yeah, no. So then
I'll have your limeware platter. I'll definitely have your limeware platter.
Yeah, can't get enough of those bad boys. But yeah, so nice big old house you can fill up with crap, and crap I will fill it with.
So it's a hoarder simulator.
All of the scrolls are. In fact, Skyrim's ridiculous for it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Skyrim, you don't feel as much personal attachment to your items. Like, because in Morrowind, when you get a good item, you know you've got a good item. Like,
well, yeah, because it's valued more than any merchant in the game can buy from you for a start. It's just 30 grand. Who's going to have 30 grand?
The most anyone's got is in bloody Tribunal. The woman's got 10 grand.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I have to sell it to you.
Yeah, I have to make a sort of
huge
like
loss.
a 60% loss on it.
I basically have to become homeless just to give it to you.
Well, I mean, 10 grand's still not to be sniffled at.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where you go through any, like if you're say level 22 or something like that, you'll go through any cave and it'll be full of Daedra with Daedric hammers and shit. So you just be like, Do you want all this really expensive?
Oblivion was the worst
stuff?
for that. You get to about level 20 to 30,
Yeah.
and all the bandits have glass armour that sells for ridiculous amounts of money. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm done.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no randomly generated bandits in mine.
Yeah.
Every character not only is put in there, but has a name.
Yeah, all like, and they're always that same name as well.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go in there on another playthrough and it's like, oh look.
Yeah, it's suddenly Steve Ridgell, and next time you go in, it's like Jenkum Begargle.
Jenkum Begargle.
There are some weird names of them.
Did I tell you about my character I made? I set up an orc called Slag Grubbed the Flubdub.
Hey,
Because
you
all
said
the
you were
orc,
going to do this one day.
all the orc
I think
names.
you may have brought that up on the podcast ages ago.
Yes, we made a little thing out of it. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, all the orc names are literally like Der Grum the Flub. They are like
they
that.
are,
Yeah.
Well,
So when she came out with Slag Grubbed on the
Flum.
Flumdum, we were like, well, there we go, we got an orc.
Problem solved.
Slag Grubbed on the Flumdum.
The only thing is, then you have to play as an orc.
That orc's alright.
If you're a dickhead. It's Brett. I
For anyone who might not know, Graham flubbed on the flubbed. But I had a mental neighbour who went absolutely insane, and one day she was just sort of, we just had a flaming row with her, and basically she just she'd sort of, everyone's calm, well not calmed down, but the row was finished, and she was just sort of hanging around, and I just decided to put the camera on her, and then she sort of noticed the camera and wanted to do this big old speech to like plead her case. But what she actually ended up doing was just coming out with this comedy gold. And I did a video, long story short, I did a video where I tried to translate it and it was hilarious. And yeah, we sat there, didn't we, just going over it. And
it's like, she says like, bye bye, I ain't going anywhere. Until I found Way Slug Out, Fuzzy Gabode, Birdie, Slug Granga Flum Down.
I think that's
pie.
I think that's my favourite bit. That's my favourite bit though. She goes, I just want to say, Petty!
Like, people stammer, and people, you know, that's understandable when you sort of go like, if you're like,
I just want to say, I'm annoyed.
Yeah, exactly.
But she just went, I just want to say, little fools, Petty! Oh, by the way, that's my Khajiit character in Morrowind. There's the cat race.
Bring it back round.
There's the cat race, and they're called things like Jaran D, aren't they, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and they got that hyphen just like Lan D. It's like that. And so I've just called that character Per D.
And it's Per because she's a cat.
So there's so there's two characters that fit perfectly.
She's a cat.
And I'm even thinking of calling the Argonian, because they call things like hides his toe and stuff like that. I'm thinking Runawick a toe.
Or Grab Dabbit.
See, that sounds like another orc. Grab Dabbit.
No, that could be a Dunmer. Because they're all like Sir Sullypool and Polundiblub and stuff like that. So just Grab Dabbit. Anyway, we should wrap up the Morrowind speak. So I'll just say that basically the way I play it is to try and...
I kind of expected this.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
You said right at the start.
Yeah, just take it away, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way you get through Tamriel Rebuilt, that's what I really want to know.
Well, like I say, I've done a good few hours and I've travelled to a lot of places. Because what I do is I try and absolutely get the most out of magic as I can, because it's by far the most useful element to that game.
Yeah.
Like, twatting stuff with a hammer is what it is. It's the most effective way to just quickly put down an enemy. Just next. But magic is obviously like for doing more subtle.
He's like, you
things,
literally just hammered them into the floor.
like
they were just big screw nails.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
You're stuck there now.
Your slug grind the flog done. Stuck to the floor. I obviously have a melee weapon. And that's the majority of the fighting, because it's all very like dice roll based fighting. When you improve your skills, that dice roll becomes more common.
Favourable.
Yeah. Well, it gets to the point where you basically never miss when you get to sort of like hundreds and whatever.
When you get to like 80,
your agility is nice and high.
when you get your skills up to 80 plus, it's basically like a D20 with 20 20s.
Yeah. 20.
Yeah. Am I going to get a critical? Don't even roll the dice. Just give me a critical.
Every side is a 20. Well, criticals are only done by sneak attacking.
Yeah.
And it makes that awesome sound. Like it's just broken their
Do you remember we went through all of the sort of hidden sound files, and it was this robot that sings critical damage?
I think it was just called like critical funny or something.
Yeah.
Critical damage.
Okay.
And there was this one bit that I used to have as my computer. When you turn your computer on, instead of do 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 do, I changed it to one of the voice files for the last living dwarf, Gagaman. They decided not to give him a voice and instead make him snarl like some kind of beast.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
But the sound files are still
the
there.
sound file for his death was originally going to be no.
He does this
exactly like
at
that.
the end. He goes no.
It was exactly like no, but it was like no.
Yeah.
So yeah, every time I turned off my computer, it was just no. But anyway, yeah. So you know, in order to ready myself for going over to Tamriel Rebuilt, I made sure I got the Mask of Clavicus files so that I've got plenty of like head armor and fortified personality. I get myself cured of corpus, so I don't have to worry about, because it gets rid of disease and blight disease, so I don't have to worry about
This is the
that.
major difference, which I'm not saying is bad. I think it's fantastic. It's a game that encourages everyone to be unique. I'm completely. It seems to me. I think I've got the difference now. You are prepared and methodical about like I'm gonna have all my magic set, all this, but I love.
I've
going
got all
in
my
there
stuff
raw.
in my quick slice and stuff.
I went in there. I've got crap armor still.
Yeah.
I've only just got a couple of pieces of Dwemer now.
Dwemer.
Yeah, you know. And I like going in there quite raw, not prepared. I don't really do a lot of magic stuff, not because I'm thick, but because I just don't.
Yeah,
you know.
no, that's in keeping with the whole struggle thing. But I kind of feel like because a lot of Tamriel stuff is. Even still, with me being as prepared as I am, it's still quite hard.
That's
so
what I was going to say.
Like, I do feel like it was built for those of us who have already completed the game and the expansions to then move on to the next challenge.
Yes, it's definitely.
Because you get some enemies.
Morrowind is too easy.
Yeah, Morrowind itself is the easy mode, and then Tribunal's sort of.
Yeah.
And Blood Moon can be a bit of a prick.
Blood Moon is a prick.
Like when you get to the werewolf stage and stuff, it's just like, oh fuck off. You get attacked by like 6 werewolves at a time. And you're like, come on, I've got Sunder and Daedric armor, I'm still dying. But
yeah,
so
that's the first thing I noticed was the challenge is fantastic.
Yeah, Blood Moon is bloody fun.
I'm actually dying.
Move on to well, yeah, it's good. So
I mean, I don't even think we've just like the thing itself. We've barely scratched the surface on it.
Anyway, I just
wanna,
so yeah, I get through the Mages Guild, so I can get the Necromancer's Amulet, which is 25% resistance to weapons, 25 spell absorption, which gives you magic from being hit by spells, and constant effect restore health 1 point. So it's always like when I'm just travelling, it's just just come back. And also fortify intelligence 25 points, which is really good for any mage at any point. So yeah, I make sure to get that definitely. I get the Mask of Clavicus Vial so I can speechcraft anyone, taunting them to death if I need to, or I can just generally buy and sell shit with merchantile, which is a great skill. I get the left and right fist of Randagal from. You actually get those from the place where you kill Dagoth Gers, which is the guy who gives you corpus. And I never knew that. I always read about them in the book, and I never really found them. And I don't really like to look up things that I think might be useful. I look it up if I'm stuck, basically. But yeah, so I looked around after killing him just one day when making file number 67, and I was just like, gloves, what? And they're these amazing heavy gloves. One of them, the left one gives you, I believe the left one is the agility one. It gives you 20 agility constant effect, and the right one gives you 20 strength constant effect. So
that's too much.
Yeah, and then I get the Lord's Mail from Ebonheart, which is just a really, really high. I think one of the highest armor ratings for armor, which is at maximum. I think it's 333, which is the max. Yeah, that's kind of fine. I get the Boots of Blinding Speed, so I can just everywhere. And then I start constant effect exquisite stuff. So I've got like a belt that gives me night eyes, so I never need to worry about light. I
don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
I get a Daedric Tower shield that gives me 40 points of strength when I constant effect.
I get some shoes of Bedidley Boy.
No, I actually make traveller's pants because they're already a thing. Traveller's pants where you use them.
Yeah.
You use them to make you levitate. They're trousers that make you levitate. But I just make constant.
I'm just thinking, if you guys are literally just scratching the surface of this mod,
Yeah.
do you think maybe we should have a Morrowind spin-off podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
You two can talk about Morrowind exclusively in a podcast.
You sort of set the thing off and just go away and play Spelunky for an hour.
Yeah.
And we're just like, are you done yet? No, we're not done.
Let me finish all my stuff. Yeah, so I make 2 rings.
Go
of
on, tell us about your
strength.
pants of bigger penis.
Yeah.
I wish.
The trousers are constant levitate. I make a shirt that gives
Look at you say that. What?
I make a shirt that gives me, I think it's 12 points of strength constant. I make 2 rings that give me 24 points of strength constant. I said the belt, didn't I? And I got the amulet. Yeah, and that's the whole lot. And then
no.
and then exquisite robe that gives me strength by like 8 points as well. So at that point,
I
I've
tend
got
to put
like,
feather stuff on myself because I'm carrying a lot of crap.
Strength like out.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So yeah, my carrying capacity is like way over 1,000, and my strength's nearly 300. And
I'm just carrying 1,000
And I can fly
pounds.
permanently, and I can see in the dark. So yeah, off I go. And so my experience in Tamriel has been like, there's a mission halfway across the map. All right, 5 minutes later, here I am. And
you look around again.
It's just like, who's that there?
I wasn't even an enemy. Oh, I need to fight.
Someone just flies out at 500 miles per hour and suddenly twacks them in the ground.
Yeah, so that's the preparations I've made. So now I'm just kind of
Just to wrap up.
enjoying life.
Basically, yeah,
Just to
polar
wrap up.
opposites in a way.
Sorry, just to wrap up. You remember talking about Morrowind?
Over prepared.
Yeah. I was just to wrap up. Do you remember I was telling you about Morrowind's a game where you can do anything you want, just to sort of, I don't know, just to help make that you can fortify your acrobatic ability so much that you can jump so high that it takes 3 minutes to land and you can't see the map anymore.
Yeah, you actually like the land underneath you just shrinks and shrinks and you can't see anything.
Yeah, and you're like, I'll go make a cup of tea because I'm not landing anytime soon. That's how much you can do.
I made a spell of fortify my alchemy by 1,500 points, I think it was. And as soon as I make a potion of like fortify speed, it's like fortify speed by I think it was 198 points for 800 seconds. So it's like 15 minutes of. It's literally as soon as you drink it and you go out into the world map, it's loading area, loading area, loading area, loading area. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna drink anymore.
Can I
Go
just say
faster than the game can even keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. You can crash the game.
Yeah.
Is this something that's just from Tamriel Rebuilt? I'm not sure, but I found a potion of summon scamp.
Yeah, no.
I was like, gulp! Oh, the creature!
Gulp, it's in me. It's in me.
Just burst out your chest like an alien.
A lot of the stuff, because you're not supposed to be able to make shield potions, but there's, I'm going to make some crazy shield potions. But there's a few ingredients in Tamriel Rebuilt that give effects like shield and stuff, which kind of adds to what I was saying about them adding in their own stuff that doesn't feels a little bit headcanon-y. like you know, things like potions of summoned scamp and stuff. It all feels a bit unnecessary. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay, we need to stop. We really do. That's what we've been playing.
I got another one.
To sum up, they both play Morrowind.
I got another one.
In case you could tell.
Oh no, we can't.
I've been playing Smash Bros Crusade.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Alright, I'll try and do an abridged version. Right, it's to Smash Bros what the Streets of Rage remake is to Streets of Rage. It's an amalgamation of all the best elements of Smash Bros. It's also in a 16-bit style that's very, very charming, very like sweetly put together. It's another fan-made product that's had a lot of love and years of work put into it, and it's so tightly done and perfectly made. Like Luigi fights exactly how he does in Melee, and it's to a T. And you do all the same combos, all the same frames fit the same way. Everything feels perfect.
But it's sprite-based instead.
And it's really, really
so
nice.
It's basically a fan game of it that they've built from scratch, as opposed to just like modding Brawl intimately, like they did the project and they tried to squash it.
It feels more like Melee and 4, sort of their fights. I guess, and a bit of Brawl. I don't really know too much about Brawl because I don't delve into it. But yeah, it's the best of all worlds, really. Okay. And there's like a Casino Night Zone level that looks amazing. Like
you say like Bomberman was playable.
Bomberman's playable, Rayman's playable, Waluigi's actually really good. You've got Luigi, and then you've got Ouija, you know, the meme Ouija, who's like really quite funny but also quite lame. There's Ryu, and then there's Evil Ryu, who is basically a Kuma, who I just can't get enough of.
Yeah, like he's a Street Fighter.
He's got his combos from Street Fighter. You can do like a low punch to a Hadoken to a Shoryuken, which I keep doing. It's like and you've got like a special gauge that everyone has in the game that builds up to your final smash, so you don't have to bother with items at all. You just build up this white bar almost like a limit break.
That's a good idea.
Street Fighter.
That is actually quite a good idea.
And do these special
like,
and Link, to me, normal Link, not Toon Link. Unfortunately, they kind of nerfed Toon Link a little bit from what he is in the game. But normal Link, absolutely like wow, just he's the guy. He's my favourite character in that. He looks amazing, and it's like they built his sprite from scratch. I swear they did, because I don't
I think from what I saw, most of the sprites in that game are obviously there's no 2D. There is no 2D version of Smash Brothers to source from, so they had to make the sprites from scratch.
Yeah, so. And there's Mega Man, Pac-Man, and stuff like that. But Rayman's really cool. He does his charging B, just neutral B, is. You know, in the first game where he does that thing when that's what I always imagined that would be. Yeah. That's really good.
I've always actually kind of thought in my head exactly how that would work, like Rayman in Smash, because obviously they're trying to campaign it for the ballot and all that. Yeah. But like the way the wind up fist thing worked in Rayman is you could sort of control it while it was in the air. And like no matter where you were on the screen, you could sort of manipulate it. And I was thinking that would be amazing in Smash if you could wind it up, shoot it across the one end of the screen, and then sort of manipulate it so it hits everyone on the way back. You know, just like chips everyone on the way. I've always imagined that his moveset would basically be mostly inspired by the first Rayman. So I'm kind of interested to have a look at that and see how they've gone about it. Same with Bomberman. Bomberman's kind of a hard one to figure out, because what would he do? Kick bombs? Drop bombs.
Unfortunately, it does feel a bit like that. It's all
I think that's one
thing where he throws a bomb, he kicks a bomb, he makes bombs happen. But he's still a good little character. Yeah,
I'm sure there would be. I could actually. That's another character I've actually sort of thought about. Obviously, most of his moves would be bomb based, but each one would have like. You know how the bombs work in Bomberman when they hit wall, they move to a certain point and then you get power ups. I think that's how they should actually do him if he was in Smash Bros. So like when he throws a bomb in the air, it will actually go in a certain trajectory, the same kind of shape it would in the game, and it would you could get like power ups for him and stuff. Like, if you charge it up long enough, you get like the P bomb and all that, so you get the full flame.
Or like this. Do you know, it could be like
he could also have like do you remember the kangaroos from Mega Bomb? The Mega
I was about to say that. He could have mouths.
He could have those as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think they were called Louis in the Mega Drive game, the kangaroos.
But you know, like Shulk's Monado Arts, you press down B and he has like a shield jump, blah blah blah. You could literally just do that with his power.
You could do that with
power bombs, you could have the skate shoes so he can run quicker and all that sort of stuff.
I think that would work really well actually.
Awesome. But I couldn't recommend highly enough. If I had to give it a Metacritic score, I'd probably give it like a 98 out of 100. Seriously, it's so good. It's fiddly as fuck, and I haven't even tried with the online play yet because I know it's gonna piss me off. But as far as getting like a program like Joy to Keys, so you can actually
use of course,
you have to.
Yeah, it's
and just play with a
D
D-pad as well. I know it's customary to play Smash Bros with a
the 2 sticks.
Joystick, but I actually prefer just playing with D-pad. It just feels more comfortable and more right for a sprite-based game as well.
Yeah,
it just feels like it natural. But honestly, couldn't recommend it highly enough. Cool. That's what I've been playing.
Excellent.
We got through it. Been playing anything else, Dom?
No. Just Morrowind. I still got to finish off Fallout. That's
do you
the annoying
legitimately
thing.
like the idea of like a Morrowind podcast?
I kind of do.
Maybe as like a little series for while you're going through
Well,
it.
I'd kind of like to just stream playing it. Really, that would be swell.
That
I'd
would
love
be
to
nice.
I honestly want to be like
So
Game
I
Grumps
actually
level
am starting
obnoxious
to
with it.
think,
Just do
like-
like a 1,000-part series on playing Morrowind. I could.
I just think
I
the
honestly
way
could.
you're both talking about Morrowind just now, like I feel like that could almost be its own. I'm not saying like you should
It's
shut
something
up
we can-
about it within the main one. I'm just saying like
It's
if
something
it's
I
gonna-
would consider.
I think that's actually quite, because then you could actually specifically have it up as the Morrowind like podcast or whatever name you decide to come up with, and then you actually get like Morrowind fans come in for it. So I think that's just a thought.
Let's mull that one over because I wouldn't mind that myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
If any game felt like a second life to me, it would be Morrowind. So.
Well, we've had this discussion before, haven't we? Like I put the question to Phil once, like if you let's say when you die,
I'd
right?
say this is like. Oh, go
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I put the question to Phil like when you die, like your brain sort of kicks in with this. It's a weird theory of mine that's probably well, it is absolute bollocks. But it's like your brain sort of has been collecting data throughout your whole life, and just as like that second you're gonna die, it sort of does that thing where you have a dream, and it just it's like a whole load of. See, this is where I get all stupid and deep, but yeah, just bear with me for a minute. It's like. I don't know. It's like your brain's like this giant hard drive, and when you die, it kicks in just that last second. It's like a dream that's kind of like a big loop of just everything, the data you've collected. Yeah, so it feels like it's an eternity, but what it actually is just like a sudden flash of like. Oh, it's so hard to explain. It's like a sort of a whole hard drive that you can explore, but it's
it's the whole life flashing before your eyes thing.
Yeah, that's what
some people even theorise that the life we're experiencing now is us having been like on our deathbeds. Like we're literally just reliving it in an internal loop.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Which I really hope for, because I don't want to go through my childhood again and again.
So like that's just like
change it each time.
So I just said to Phil one day, say that's the thing.
Groundhog Day, but for your entire life. That would be very strange.
That would suck.
That would be
Groundhog lots of days.
Groundhog life.
So I just said to Phil one day, like, say that's the kind of thing that happens, that you sort of, it feels like you're eternally playing this thing, and you get a choice based on like things you've really enjoyed in your life, what you get to kind of dwell in. So I said, like, McDonald's. McDonald's.
I just get to live in McDonald's and have their breakfast all day.
So I basically just said to Phil, what game world would you like to sort of spend this kind of, you could say, eternity in? And both of us basically almost immediately said
Fantasy Star Online. Morrowind.
It's
that's a good close second
choice.
And I'll take that one a little bit further as well. Basically, what it would be the entire Tamriel, continental
but in the Morrowind
structure,
engine.
but in the Morrowind engine and look, maybe with the graphics. And
basically, no extra special features.
No
you just
mods.
get the default game. Yeah. No mods, no specific details.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Even the default game is still probably bigger than any other game I know of in terms of how much gameplay is in it.
Yeah.
Because like the original game with no extras, not even
endless radiant quests on Skyrim, but actually doing every individual.
Yeah, but that's the problem though. They're all the same fucking thing. Go and kill this dragon. They receive 50 gold or something stupid. You'll kill the dragon. Here, have a pound.
Go buy some penny sweets.
Get yourself What month is it? Oh, you can get cream eggs at the moment.
Go buy yourself a Magnum. Which is an ice cream, not a gun.
Just the one. Just the one though, you've only got a quid.
Oh, remember when they were
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just tend to feel like, you know...
Go buy yourself 5 Freddos.
So yeah, you know, basically...
Quite a stockpile of Freddos after you kill 50 dragons.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, that I would... If I... Yeah, let's put it a bit easier.
Yeah, I get.
To put it a bit simpler, if you were only allowed to play one game from now to the end of life,
I guess an easier way to analyse it is: have you ever read in their retro game? They quite often have game developers in there putting their desert island games.
Ah, yes, yeah. There we go. That's even.
There you go.
That's
desert island game.
Yeah. I should have just said that. Really. What's your desert?
And then you get there and there's no electric and you can't actually play.
Desert island, literally discs. You can just there it is. Oh, I love that disc.
I've got my desert island game.
You could use.
Can I eat it?
You could use the disc to reflect rays of sunlight into the sea and like cook the fish.
See, Morrowind's still useful.
Yeah, it still saves your life. You could use it as like a check room. Just like, kill mud crabs on the beach. Or if you could play the game, you could spend a lot of time in the game on a desert island, left all alone, with nothing but Mike the Liar for company. Did you know I once beat Pro Evolution Soccer in 15 minutes?
No, you didn't. Poo.
I don't even know what's
from when
going
we
on
had trials at West Ham, it never happened. I'm referencing in between. Finished it, mate.
FIFA? Yeah, finished it.
I want to do that. Just take Mike the Liar's face and just put it on that. Just FIFA, finished it, mate.
Yeah, because Mike the Liar comes back in Oblivion and Skyrim.
He's actually a vassal of a certain David Prince.
I thought so.
It might be Shea Gorath because obviously he's mental.
Yeah.
Ooh, jeez.
Shea Gorath, the try-hard god.
The random.
No. We're mental, we are.
Anyway, enough about fucking Morrowind. I'm going to have another week of it when I go home anyway. I'm going to love it.
I want to play it right now.
I am in my bean. So Aaron, what have you been playing?
I've played some video games, I think.
I've been playing with my pubes.
Well, you've been banging on about fucking Morrowind. I think we should have a podcast, a little series of podcasts to get it out of our system.
Yeah, that's kind of
little series. Welcome back to episode 728 of our
Today we'll be
Morrowind
discussing boots. Daedric bats.
At this rate, we just need a separate channel for all your Morrowind stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hit Morrowind's channel. Yeah. Obviously, we're having loads of fun with like Micro Machines 96, and one of the coolest things about that game, obviously, is the cart it's on. Like Codemasters, like patented cart. I don't know if any other console's ever done that.
Was it the J cart?
The J cart, they call it, yeah, for whatever reason. I'm not sure what that actually stands for.
The Joy cart?
No, it's always joy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is in Japan, isn't it? They have the Joy pad.
But yeah, Codemasters on the
Joy
Mega Drive. I don't know if they ever did it on the Super Nintendo or any others.
Always turning up on a
But basically, it's a game cart that actually has controller ports in it. So
Which is
basically,
really cool.
you don't need a multi-tap for the Mega Drive.
Yep.
It just has 2 extra ports so you can
That's
play
so
4-player. Micro
Suck
Machines
it,
is
Sonic
not
and
the only
Knuckles.
game. Micro Machines is not actually the only game that has that Codemasters made. So I've been trying to find the other ones to see what they're like. And one of the games I've picked up is a tennis game. I got it from a booth for like £1.
Was that got as well?
Yeah, that one of the tennis games they did has the.
Oh, so you can play
J
like
cart
doubles.
as well. Yeah, you can play doubles 4-player on it. And
Nice.
yeah, I can't remember
Might be
the
something
actual
worth looking
name
into.
of it now. It's like Sanpras Tennis 96 or something like that. I think it came out in 1995 because that's when pretty much loads of Codemasters stuff came out.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, was that the...
pretty much at the tail end of
They're doing that weird thing that FIFA do where every game comes out a year earlier.
Yeah, that's pretty much how those kind of games work out, because they come out late 95, so they just put 96 on them. Like, right as the tail end of like the Mega Drive life, just as like 32-bit consoles were coming in, they were pulling off some crazy shit on like the Mega Drive. Like, especially in some ways, especially Codemasters. Like this tennis game is ridiculous. Like the tech behind it. But basically, like the actual tennis court is like proper 3D. It's not like flat shaded polygonal stuff. It actually looks like it's. I guess it's not actual 3D. It's probably like sprite based. Right. But the way they've done it, it does actually look like a proper 3D court. And the most impressive thing about that game is actually like the sound. Like it's ridiculous how good like the sound quality is on like all the voices and stuff. It sounds like proper tennis on the TV. It's all the grunts and the the weird screams that the women do. All that weird shit. But the funniest thing, like all that, it's got like a proper announcer as well, doing all the 30 Love stuff as well, and the audience as well. And the best bit is when you're in the middle of the match, there's no like music in the game. It's just like all the sound effects. You get like you keep hearing this one like person just go good or something like that. Just every so often you hear the same sample, someone just go good or whatever. But it's like got the proper echo in it. It sounds like they just recorded it from the telly. It's just like
they probably did.
Yeah,
they just put like a little like dictaphone up to the telly.
Yeah,
you can probably still hear the buzz of the speakers.
So I grabbed that one, and then just this week actually, I picked it up quite cheap on eBay. I got Super Skidmarks.
I love that name.
Yeah, I've got the original.
Oh man, I got some Super Skidmarks going on.
Yeah, I've got the original Skidmarks on the Amiga CD, and I think you could get Super Skidmarks on that as well.
All over your CD.
Yeah, all over my Amiga. But yeah,
at least they were original Skidmarks, not like really salted.
What?
It's the same. So yeah, it's Codemasters again, obviously, but I think it's even the same. I know Micro Machines was by a company called Supersonic, wasn't it? Like the ones, like the later ones. This one's developed by I think they're called Acid Software, which is like a substantiary of Codemasters, I believe. But one thing that's really interesting about the Mega Drive version of Super Skidmarks is the sound design is almost exactly the same as Micro Machines. In fact, it shares a lot of the same sound effects. Like the beep is the exact same one as in Micro Machines 96. Even like the music sounds really similar. It's the same. Like
you showed me the song, and I was just like, I want to cover it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's got really good proper like. One thing that's really funny, what's really weird about it, obviously it's another Mega Drive game that doesn't save, unfortunately. When you start the game up, it just has like 4 names and you can just fill in your name. Every time you quit a game and start again, you have to you get like a name select thing come up. What's quite funny is if you don't bother to put your name in, you just skip all the letters, it'll give you a random name which you can change at will, and then there's like a 3, 2, 1. And then you just press the button again before the 3, 2, 1 to change it again. Oh, right. The funniest thing, I just got to bring this up. One of the names is yellow, and it's the only colour that's mentioned as well. There's no like blue or green, just yellow.
Hello, my name is Yellow.
Oh, yellow.
And there was like names like Stimpy and just really weird names in there.
Stimpy.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what some of the other ones were. One of them actually looked like it said Purdy at first. When I was going through them, I was like, what? And I went back and it was like Per Die or something. What? So it's Per Die, so is that like the American pronunciation? Per Die. Your neighbour's American cousin.
You lot came up to my home, slung Greg down the flume dome.
Yeah. So yeah, Super Skidmarks is another like up to 4-player racing game, a lot like Micro Machines, but the difference is it's like one of those isometric ones, kind of like Super Off-Road and all those kind of games.
It looks so good.
Yeah. What's really obviously I haven't tried multiplayer yet, but what's really cool about it is it has that same mode in Micro Machines where you're like fighting to stay on the screen and whoever gets cut off. But it also has, which I think might be one of the only games on the Mega Drive that does it. It has proper split screen up to 4 players. It can actually do.
And it actually handles it okay.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Nice. When you don't press start at the start, you actually get to see it, and it runs really smoothly. You'll be quite. They've obviously made sure the graphics are simple enough that they can pull that off, and to actually have 4-player split screen on the Mega Drive. I think there's only one other game that does that, and I think it's Street Racer. I think it was like a Ubisoft sort of Mario Kart style game. Oh, right. I think that's the only other game that does that. I think that might have even done more than 4 players. I think it came out around the same time. Again, pushing the Mega Drive right at the last minute. Just all pushing the tech.
That always happens, doesn't it? At the end of a console's lifespan.
One thing I found with this game though, playing it against a computer is impossible. It's so bloody hard. The main problem is it's really hard to control actually. If you so much as tap any wall, you might as well just give up. If you just you literally tap one wall and they just lap you almost instantly. It's ridiculous how quickly they get around. And
oops.
What's really weird as well is at first I didn't think there was a brake because the controls setup is even the same as Micro Machines. It's B to accelerate, C to horn, and A to brake. But at first I was pressing A thinking, there's brakes, is there? No, there doesn't appear to be any brakes. Okay, so I just went about it thinking there was no brakes whatsoever, and I was just failing miserably on any level other than the first track. And I looked in the manual and it turns out there was brakes. I started using them, and what made me think there wasn't any is there's basically no feedback to tell you there's brakes. There's no sound, no visual cue, nothing. The only way you can tell is just from the feel of the turning. It's really weird. It's really hard to describe, but basically, it just makes you turn slightly better. It's really weird. It takes a lot of getting used to it, and I kind of haven't yet. It's just kind of. It's not like Micro Machines where you just bounce off walls and just bash around. You can sort of collide with other cars and they'll sort of throw you forwards a little bit and stuff. But basically, I just keep getting lapped all the time. It's really difficult. But I'm actually looking forward to bringing it over and trying to play it.
Definitely. Yeah, when you showed me the gameplay, it looks.
Even with Micro Machines, playing it on your own is nothing compared to multiplayer because the computer's too good at it. And
there's one mode I really enjoy.
Turns perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. They can just do everything perfectly.
There is one mode I love in Micro Machines on one player though. It's called the Premier League mode.
Oh, which one's that in 96?
It's in 2 and in 96. It's got a better version in 96 of it.
I don't know.
But basically, you start off. It's just called League mode, and you go from different divisions, and basically each division is 4 separate levels. They're always the same 4 levels, but they're different 4 levels in each division, and they're harder. And then, when you finish that, you unlock the Premier League.
That actually kind of sounds like how this game plays. It doesn't have loads of modes on Micro Machines. It's pretty much just got championship mode, and then it's just got single race, and that's about it. Right. But the way the championship works is kind of you pick a set of 4 levels. And then once you beat all those sets of 4 levels, it unlocks a couple more. Not that I've managed to do that at all, but I'll put in a couple passwords to see what some of the other stuff is. You can unlock cows as cars. There's just cows with wheels, and they just occasionally move. They're on the front cover, they're not even there from the start, but the front cover is just cow cars. That's apparently how they thought it would sell. I don't know. This game's got cows. That's all you need to know. Basically.
Got cows.
Yeah, just weird multicoloured cows.
I got cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird. So I was playing a bit of that in the week, and I was playing more Spelunky. I don't really need to go into that. I finally got another achievement on that game.
Don't need to go into it.
What?
Spelunky
Don't need to. Yeah.
I don't need to delve deeper into that one.
Oh, but actually shocked that you managed to get probably the one. Well, I pretty much got the one achievement I knew I was eventually going to get. The rest of them I'm never going to get. I just know I'm not going to get them. I got the addicted one, which is basically play the game 1,000 times.
I don't think I'm too far off that because of all my diffs.
Well, the thing about that is you could technically do that one really quickly. If you use the shortcuts a lot, then you're going to get it in no time.
Yeah.
But I very, very rarely use the shortcuts.
Here,
in fact, I've only ever used them a couple times, probably a couple times, just to practice like the tempo and stuff. But other than that, I always go from the start.
I busted my arse trying to get the shortcuts, and now I don't use them.
Yeah, the shortcuts are absolutely pointless, because if you go to the temple and you've only got 4 bombs, 4 ropes, unless you're really bloody good at the game, you're just going to die anyway. But yeah, I finally got that one, and my total, because it's like 1,000 games no matter what, I thought it was you have to die 1,000 times, but then it unlocked on the 998th, and I was like, hang on, what? And it turned out it's because I beat Olmec twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 1,000.
Yeah, it does count that as well. Yeah. It's literally just play the game. So,
yeah. Get 1,000 times. Yeah. It's, I don't think I'm far off. I managed to sort of speed it up, because occasionally I tried to do like trying to play for it fast.
Like speedlunky.
Speedlunking, yeah. I tried to do that occasionally. I think the furthest I've ever got is like free doing that. So I've actually been trying to actually learn it a little bit. Like I'm reading up on all the techniques they use. Like I'm learning more stuff from reading up now, because most of the stuff I know about the game is either from watching people live stream or just playing it on YouTube. But now I'm learning even more, and then other stuff I learn just myself. But then reading up like guides now, I'm learning even more. Apparently you can whip the darts. I had no idea. Apparently at the very end...
even attempt.
No, exactly. But there's a frame of time where the whip is basically invincible to anything. Like when it's at the very straight part, the very point of it can just take anything, apparently. And like if a dart hits it right at that point, it would just bounce off.
What?
And apparently there is actually a way you can fall at just the right speeds that no matter what, the dart won't hit you. But I still haven't, put that into practice yet. But this is kind of like the only game I've ever felt like I really want to practice the ins and outs of like that.
It's a game that kind of
so much depth
as well.
It's like... Honestly, it's probably the game I've put more hours. I mean, you're talking about playing Morrowind for 60 plus hours in the last week. I've played Spelunky for just over 70 odd hours now, and I think that's the most hours I've maybe ever put into a video game. that probably says a lot about me, but
mine is, oh my god, I think it was Morrowind, and I think it was around about over 500 hours in one file.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a loser. That's not an impressive number. That's a sad number.
I don't know, for a game that big, it doesn't surprise me. Like, I just don't play games that are that huge. I mean, I was watching Giant Bomb play just even a tiny fraction of Metal Gear Solid 5, and just then listing off all the things you could do. I was like, how? I can't play games like that. It's way too daunting for me. There's just too much.
I can understand that.
Like,
especially since with what
one,
looks like
I don't have the time to
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever have the time to play games for that many hours.
I especially think
that just feels really kind of scary to me. It's like I'm just gonna fail.
I think what it is with Metal Gear 5 is they've obviously that's like their final.
Oh yeah.
So they're just throwing everything they've ever thought of in there.
yeah, big time. I was quite impressed to hear that it's more gameplay than cutscenes.
That is good.
Which is the opposite of
no single Metal Gear has ever done that before. It's always been 20 minutes of gameplay, 4 hours of boring cutscenes. Yeah, I'm a massive Metal Gear fan, and I would easily say that the writing is just annoying, and the cutscenes are.
Yeah, apparently the story is more based on you can listen to tapes and stuff. But I won't go into Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. Time. Luckily, at the moment, I haven't had any spoilers. If anyone does any spoilers on social media, I'm going to kill them. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it, but I hope it's soon because I'm
going to get on 360.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, unfortunately. At the moment, I can get it on PC, but I don't think my computer's going to run the bastard. Especially not until I get the RAM.
Not even in 360 graphics.
Maybe, it's a pretty good computer. It's just the fact that the RAM's failed.
I assume that game's got the settings to bring it down to 360 level.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Or something, But, Anyway, yeah,
Oh,
I've been playing Spelunky as usual.
Yeah.
I've sort of gotten back into it again. But you know, I go through waves where like I don't play it at all for a while, and then I'll just. It's not a game you can play like once every so often, because you either have to play it for hours on end, for like a week, or just not at all, because there's no point, because otherwise you're just not going to be good enough. Like I mean, it's one of those games where like you could be as good as anything, but like you still just have a whole 5 hours of just fucking up. Like it's that kind of.
You can get messed up at any second.
I
love the game to pieces, but basically you'll be grinning and winning, and then suddenly you'll get an arrow that puts you down a pit, and you're dead. That's it. Done. In like that.
It never really feels unfair to me. Like I've got to the point now where all the deaths, I know they're my fault. I feel like it's like, oh, I panicked for a second, that's why I died. I know exactly why I died. It's because I didn't remember that you can't land on that thing in that particular way. I know what you mean. It's like a learning thing as well. Like you learn new things. Like when I was doing that live stream, I learned that you can't jump on the. Well, I thought you could jump on the aliens, but that time I jumped on one and I got hit and fell into the pit. But
that
was quite odd. But I'm pretty sure there's a reason for that. Everything, much like Morrowind, everything has its specific way of working in that game. There's nothing there that's just trivial. You know, the designer really put his care into every little thing with that. So I've been playing that. I've been playing more Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed on Steam, because I've had it on Steam for ages because it was in. Is it
good on Steam?
It's really good. It's probably the best version. It is the best version. They made sure it was because they added all those free extra characters. And it's the only place you can get the Ryu Hazuki. DLC.
I haven't got that yet. I've got the game, but I haven't grabbed that DLC.
Yeah, it's quite cheap when it does come along, so you can probably get it for like 50p.
I hope so, because that'll be my excuse to
the only thing that really annoys me about the DLC in that game is when you get the DLC characters, they're already upgraded.
That really annoys me.
Yeah, because then when you're playing through the game, you've
got
no reason to play them, which is that really sucks.
That did annoy me, because it's like when you had. I got
Sonic as well.
I got Metal Sonic with the game, I think. And then I got Alex Kidd on Christmas Day.
And
they were both maxed.
I don't think Alex Kidd was. He isn't on the Steam one. He's just,
maybe not. I don't know.
Because he was like an unlock that they hid in the game, weren't they? And it was like on a certain day they just launched it. I think it was Christmas or something.
It was, it was Christmas Day.
Happy Christmas, is Alex Kidd. Out of nowhere, without anyone knowing. No one found it in the files or anything, I don't think. But really nice on Steam. Obviously it runs at like on my new laptop it runs at 60 now. On my old PC it didn't really. It ran about as well as it did on PS3, I suppose. Because that game's not like super duper like high spec.
It's not like Sonic Generations.
Still, Sonic Generations is a bit of a pain for that. Obviously like. Oh god, I just know I'm not going to get all the achievements. Like I managed to platinum it on the PS3 back when it came out. It was such a pain in the ass, like. And the only reason I platinumed it is because the trophy or the achievement, whatever you want to call it, for doing all the time trials before they patched it, like within like the first 6 months of it being out. You only actually had to do one of the time trials.
Wasn't it like a Somebody Vigo level?
I think it was. I can't remember which level specifically, but it was one level. You only had to play one of them, and then the trophy would unlock. And even just getting that one was a pain in the ass. Getting past the expert one was just really hard. I found most of the levels, it was just a case of just driving straight a lot of the time. You don't do a lot of actual drifting. It's like on the flying stuff, you have to just do a beeline pretty much. But obviously they patched it long since then, so I'm probably never going to get that achievement on the Steam version. I've managed to get some of the basic ones, but that game is just so hard in spots. Like on the expert levels, I'm sure the AI or the other computer, they all aim for you. They don't aim for each other. They'll go, that guy's in the lead. I'm not going to attack him. I'm going to attack you at the back.
I've said this before. I've had levels where there's been like about 3-4 cars between me and the guy who's aiming perfectly between them all to get me with a snowball. He's like, get him.
Really, really intentional. You know what I really was hoping for when I was looking it up as well? I was really hoping there were some mods for the game. Because one thing that was quite interesting is the game came out about 2 years later on the Wii U in Japan. And they actually modified some things. You know the pufferfish weapon? They actually changed that into a junk PO.
Oh yes, yeah, I've heard
stuff like that.
I've heard about that.
A couple other things they changed.
Especially the best
well.
version of the game.
I was hoping someone might get the assets from the Wii U one and mod that stuff in, because I'd love to have that little PO thing. And just like little things like changing BD Joe from Crazy Taxi's voice, so it's his original voice, not the one from Crazy Taxi 3, I think it is. Because for some reason they don't have the rights to the voice from the original game.
Weird.
But yeah, it's very strange. And I don't know, maybe modding in the actual voice actor of Wreck-It Ralph rather than some weird sound alike who's not very good. What's the point of getting that license if you can't get the right voice? It's just like some bad sound alike. But yeah, so yeah, I've been playing that a lot as well.
Excellent.
That's most. I suppose the other thing I've been doing, I've only just started doing it, so I'll probably bring this up more. Is I'm basically trying to make sure I can get through my backlog. Not so much my Steam one, even though that's the biggest of my backlog.
I think that's everyone's biggest backlog.
Yeah, because one, it's not physical, so it doesn't take up any space. And they're so bloody cheap. You just don't care.
With things like Humble Bundle, I've now got. I think I've just hit like the 90.
I've got just over 100 games, and I probably mainly play 3 of them. It's mainly Spelunky. I know 4, I suppose. It was like Sonic Generations, Spelunky, All Stars Racing, and Freedom Planet. That's pretty much. That's kind of the only games I play.
There's nothing on Steam.
I don't have most of mine installed right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing on Steam that I've actually gone mental over.
Yeah.
There was. I kind of stopped playing Unepic, and I really got to get on with that.
Yeah.
There was Unepic and like 1 or 2 others that I kind of put a bit of time in.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing like I do on consoles or technically PC with Morrowind is my most busy game.
But it's not so much that backlog. I'll get to that at some point. But what I really need to work on is my physical game backlog. So far, I've clocked it as around 40 odd games that I have never played in my collection. I have 40 games in my collection I have never put in the console and played. It's kind of bad because I've been basically trying to like get like there's a website called RF Generation which I use to basically catalogue everything I own as long as they have it on their catalogue. There's a couple of games I own that they don't have on the list, so I might have to submit them or something. But and then I can like sort them out to figure out what my backlog is. So at the moment I'm sort of working on. Firstly, I'm going to work on my Sega Saturn games because there's like 7 games or less. That's counting some games I haven't even received yet from Japan that I've bought on eBay, so I just had to demo it to make sure I play them. But I started last night on a pool game, a snooker game on Saturn. Oh, you actually started work on it now then? You've started, since last night. I tell you what, I was going to play 2 games last night, but I ended up playing that pool one for ages because it was actually quite good. I tell you what I need to do. I need to do that exact same thing. I need to catalogue my games because I've never ever sat down. I'd say use that website because they're really good for. I think as far as that's like the easiest site to use. There's loads of other sites that do it, but I find a lot of them seem to focus on certain regions. Like Retro Collect one, but they seem to focus on European stuff. And there's other ones that I've tried before and they're almost exclusively American stuff, so they're not very useful. But RF Generation, they have every region on there. Like when you put in a game, they'll show every single version. Even like the different variants of the European ones, they'll show the UK one, the French one, every language, every one that has different languages on the back of the box. And they go to that much detail, so you can find the exact version you have right down to like the whatever label version, if it's a platinum PlayStation game or whatever. See what I am actually really. I would say I want to see my progress because I bet if I make like say even if I just make like a spreadsheet thing of it, I bet
I'd end up getting depressed looking at the progress of games that I've just sort of left.
Yeah, I mean, so far because on that site you can't put like percentage progress or anything. Yeah. It's mainly for like collectors.
See, that's what I kind of want to do.
But you can make custom folders to copy the games into. So I've got a backlog folder, which is games I haven't played at all, right. And then I've got a folder for games that I know I've beaten. So basically, seeing the credits, what I've got everything. So I'm doing that at the moment. But yeah, I was playing a pool game yesterday. And it's like a Japanese-only sequel to a Mega Drive game I really like called Side Pocket. Really good series, actually. I really enjoy them. They kind of control like old golf games where you have like the little reticle thing with like the dots, and then you get like the power thing. But this third one, it was the only one they did in 3D, and obviously being Saturn 3D is a bit ropey looking. Yeah. But and it has like this really weird like story mode that's almost like an RPG where you're just talking to characters all the time, and they've got full voice acting and everything. They've gone really over the top. But it's like set inside some kind of mansion or some kind of club or something, and every time it's like days. To be honest, I wish I just went to the main, just playing pool mode, because it was really obnoxious. Basically, you have like these Resident Evil style walking through corridor bits, except you don't play them, you just watch them happen. You watch him walk from one random door to another. You'll open the door, talk to someone for a bit, you pick an option, you'll come out the door, walk to another door, talk to someone else, walk out the door, talk to someone else, talk to someone else, walk. Finally, you get to play a pool game after about an hour, well, I don't know how long, probably 20 minutes of doing all this bullshit. It's alright, but you don't even like control like the Resident. It really looks like Resident Evil, like the corridor stuff, like a really cheap looking knockoff of Resident Evil, but you don't control it. It's all in game, but you just watch it happen. But you can just skip those bits, but you can't skip the dialogue.
So there's not even an adventure element to working
out. Not really, no. It's almost like one of them bloody dating sweats things where you don't actually control anything until you actually get to the pool bits. But thankfully, the pool stuff's actually really good, so it was fine. It's about every type of pool in it. It's all the different. There's even like this cool thing they do at the start where whoever I think all the Side Pocket games have this, when you're playing against someone else in it, to decide who goes first, you have to whack the ball as hard as possible to see how many times it will bounce back and forth between the thing. It's really cool actually. It's like see who like hits both sides the most or something. It's kind of a cool little thing. So I've got Side Pocket on the Mega Drive, and then I've got the third one on Saturn. I kind of want to get the second one now just to see. I think that's also 2D, that one. I think that's on the Saturn and the Mega Drive, so I'll try and get one of those. So that's what I'm playing. A few things. Because
you've got me thinking about...
man.
Well, looked like I was a little bit away there. Yeah, I'm trying to mentally think
I know what
how many games that have left that I've got to hurry up and get round to. Most of the ones that I leave are usually RPGs. I've got this weird curse where I will get to the end, like the last section of a turn-based RPG. So I'd sit there for all those like 60 hours or something.
Yeah, and then you get to the end.
I'd get to like the last, like literally Final Fantasy 7. I'm on the last dungeon. I'm just about to go fight Geneva, the last one.
Yeah.
And then Sephiroth, and I just saved and never came back to it. And I've done that with Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 8, I'm currently doing that. I'm leveling up right at the end of the game, ready to go to the last boss. And then Final Fantasy 9 was the only one out of the entire series of the normal Final Fantasy games, not the spin-offs or anything, that I actually bothered to finish.
My backlog is kind of biased towards certain systems, as you could probably guess, because most of my game collection is Sega games. I mainly collect and play Mega Drive, Saturn, not so much Master System, but definitely Mega Drive, Saturn, Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, I've almost got every game I even want on it, except a few exceptions being the ones that are too bloody expensive to even touch now. They're like way too expensive for me.
All I know is I know it's never going to happen, but if you ever manage to get hold of a copy of Nocturne in the Moonlight, which is Symphony of the Night on the Saturn, I would love to. I wouldn't leave your house.
That is one game I would love to own.
I wouldn't even attempt it. It's like at least 200 quid a pop.
I don't know if it's that much. I think it's closer to 100. But yeah, I think I've seen it go for about 80. At the probably the cheapest. It's probably 70, 80 quid. But
I'd love to get my hands on it, even though I wouldn't be able to play it. I haven't got like a modded system or anything.
just don't mind, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, my backlog mainly seems to consist of PlayStation games because obviously
I think a lot
PS1 and PS2 games you can just pick up anyway. And I've just picked up loads of weird games. I've gone, I'll play that at some point, and it's just gone on the shelf.
Yeah, PS2.
Some of these games I've probably had 5 years and never touched them. It's like, well, why have I got them? But then at the same time, it's like, oh, but it looks so weird.
I find that PS2 out of all the systems is the worst for that because they made so much stuff for the PS2.
It's got like 6,000 million games on it. Well, it literally has about 5,000 games on it. As far as I know, it is the biggest library of any console.
I think it is. They just made everything on it, everything and anything.
Yeah.
And so you pick them up at charity shops for like £1, £2.
Yeah, I've picked up loads of games for like 20p on those systems. Like.
And then you think, oh, that might be fun, even if it's something you don't know anything about. And but bloody put it in the system. I've got a load of them up there.
Yeah, I think you've actually got more PS2 than I have, but yeah.
I've kind of, because of my financial situation now, and because of the way people are just hiking the prices of anything now.
Yeah, especially
I'm stuck in a rut. I'd love to collect. Yeah, my Mega Drive collection really needs to grow. My Master System collection. They're the two I really love collecting. Master System and Mega Drive. I love both those systems.
Yeah.
But I'm just not even bothering to bloody pick up.
This is why I mainly buy Japanese games now.
Yeah.
They're much cheaper. They're so much cheaper. It's weird. Like I can pick up games for like a tenner. That if you try to get the PAL versions of them, they're like 100 quid. It's ridiculous.
It is insane.
And some of them, the language barrier is no different. Some of them are still in English. Like you can get games, especially on the Saturn, you can get games that were made over here, like Sega of America games and stuff. That came out in Japan. They didn't even bother to translate them. In fact, the manuals you did have translation guides in them. Like that's how little effort they put into the localization, and they're a fraction of the price, tiny fraction of the price of what the original like English versions were.
Ridiculous.
So stupid, but I won't deal on.
I'll have to do a bit of that really.
Yeah. It's something I'd like to go into more. Maybe the next time we do a podcast because I do really want to start clamping down on my backlog and going through.
I think I should do that. What I need to do is get over my current Morrowind obsession, which could take a while. And then once I've got that and I've come down, I really should just I'll start the list anyway.
Yeah.
And literally go right back to like some of my earlier systems, like the Master System, for instance, and just go like, right, this game. Like for instance, I know that Action Fighter. I really want to get better at that. There's two games.
So hard.
I know it is. I can just about beat the first round, and the second round just destroys me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But Action Fighter and the Ninja, two really hard games. I want to really crack down.
Great,
on
I love that game. You should.
I want to play that.
Show you the Saturn one.
I really want to play that one.
There's a Saturn collection that has the original arcade Ninja Princess.
You told me about it before, and I really want to play that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's more or less the same game. It's just obviously on the Master System. He's a bloke now because ninjas are blokes. They're only blokes.
The only female characters are the ones getting rescued by the ninjas.
Yeah. It's funny because like all this stuff about like gender representation in games lately, Sega are really ahead of the time for that kind of stuff. Technically, like Fantasy Star, Ninja Princess,
Hang On,
excluding here. Even Hang On.
That's the big twist on Hang On.
Yeah.
Right at the end, you finish the game. It's like, oh, it's a girl. I put in the bin. Girls can't ride bikes.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going all over the place with stuff that we could bring up another time.
Yeah.
The next game I'm going to play on the Saturn, I'll probably bring this up next time, is, if I remember, is Funky Head Boxers. I bought this one recently. It was sealed, Japanese copy. In other words, no one wanted to play it. It's a boxing game with characters that have giant square heads with photos imposed on them. And I think the arcade version actually took a photo of you and then put your photo in the game. But obviously the Saturn one doesn't do that, so it's just random faces. That's all I know about it.
Okay.
That should be exciting. Might even be a Gagaman Cherry, I don't know yet.
It sounds right for it, yeah.
I don't know if it's actually going to be stupid enough to be worth doing, but I'll play it soon anyway. Anyway, I think we should stop podcasting. We've been going
yeah, this is like probably our longest podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So we've talked long into the night.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. If you've made it all the way through, then you might like Morrowind. I know we do. I seriously think it might be a good idea to do a little.
I like the idea of doing
subsidiary,
because
just to get it out of our system.
we wouldn't be the only one doing spin-off podcasts. Like Giant Bomb have like specific podcasts with things as well. So sometimes they do like a series of podcasts. So
got you.
I think there's a.
Okay, so it's not a strange thing.
Diaries.
No. Yeah, so there we go. The Morrowind Diaries. I was actually thinking of doing that because you can use a construction kit to write your own books. I was thinking, I didn't do it in the end, obviously, but I was thinking like as I play Tamriel Rebuilt, I sort of write a diary out, and then when I eventually build my own little place, I actually have my whole shelf of all the diary entries. But I thought that would just be a bit too much, especially since. Like today, for instance, my son got me up at like 5 in the morning. So from about 5:30 until about 11 o'clock in the morning, I just did a big grinding session of Morrowind. I was just levelling up.
Right,
while he was watching Thomas the Tank Engine.
Half hour of actually sorting out the baby without worrying.
No, he was happy. He had his breakfast. I sorted him all out, and he was watching Thomas, and he was just happy.
While you were Morrowinding. Wow.
So there we go. That's parenting.
Thanks for listening.
Occasionally I turn around and went, alright. Chuck some crisps at him. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye, pal.
I've been the Gagaman.
I've been Murry Curry.
I've been sleepy.
I think we're all a bit sleepy now.
Yeah. You've been with us for a while.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, pals.